is Wink Martindale. In addition to playing the most popular music in Los Angeles, I try to give you an insight into the careers of the stars who make the hits we hear. Join me each day, The Winker, for a special look at what's new in popular music, noon till 3 on KMBC Los Angeles. California Angels Baseball is brought to you by your nearby Chevron dealer, where they not only take great care of your car, they take great care of you. That's the way it is along the Chevron way. By Anheuser-Busch, brewers of Budweiser, the king of beers. There's no better way to relax than with the easy taste of Budweiser. By Continental Airlines. Continental's chicken feed fares have ended discount fare confusion. There are no lower fares, and there are no restrictions. And by Chevrolet. Like baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie, Chevrolet cars and trucks rank high on America's list of favorites year after year. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Anaheim Stadium. I'm Don Drysdale, along with Dick Enberg, our producer-engineer Dick Nelson, and tonight it's the Angels and the Seattle Mariners in the final series of the year prior to the All-Star break. The Angels and Mariners will enjoy 3 off days. That'll be starting on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all except those who are chosen on the American League All-Star squad. But tonight, the Angels return home after their 4-game series with the Kansas City Royals, where they split 4, and it'll be Frank Tanana making his 18th appearance of the year, a record of 11 wins, 5 losses. Tanana trying to snap a 2-game losing streak, a record of 11 wins and 5 losses, an ERA of 2.98. He'll be opposed by right-hander Dick Pohl. Pohl with a record of 4 wins and 9 losses, making his 17th start of the year. He has lost 5 of his last 7, his last win coming on May 23rd against the Kansas City Royals, but he's fared well against the Angels. He is 1-0 already this year. He is 4-1 lifetime. The Angels 3-3 in the month of July, and it was these same Mariners who defeated the Oakland A's last night, the first time this year, and in doing so, they knocked the A's out of first place. The Angels took over a half a game over the Oakland A's, and right behind it is the Texas Rangers and the Kansas City Royals. Texas a game out, Kansas City a game and a half. Then you go to Chicago and Minnesota, both games at 5.5 out. The umpires coming out to home plate to meet with manager Jim Fregosi of the Angels and Darrell Johnson of the Seattle Mariners. And the umpires tonight, a little different look because their uniforms did not get here. They are wearing the uniforms of the ushers here at Anaheim Stadium with the blue slacks, the red stripe down the side, white shirts, 2 of them wearing Seattle Mariner hats. The other, Bill Deegan, who will be the second base umpire, wearing a California Angel hat, and Al Clark will be the home plate umpire as they exchange their lineup cards. We'll be back with the starting lineups, but first, and this will be a first at Anaheim Stadium, the doubleheader of 1978, and that is tomorrow against these Mariners. The first game starts at 5 p.m. Chris Knapp and Dave Frost for the Angels, Glenn Abbott and Jim Colburn slated to go for the Mariners. And closing out the series Sunday afternoon, the last baseball before the All-Star game intermission, it'll be Nolan Ryan and Rick Honeycutt. After the All-Star game, action will be resumed at the Big A with visits from Toronto, Detroit, and Cleveland, including Hollywood Stars Night, that is Saturday, July 15th, and a family night on Monday, July 17th, when the box seats will sell at half price. So don't miss the Pettit Stretch Drive. It's on right now as the Angels take the field. Frank Tanana going to the mound, and right now from Anaheim Stadium, our national anthem. tonight, sung by Ed Hoffman, one of the fine ushers here at the Big A. And we'll go down the starting lineups first of all for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off and playing second base will be Larry Milbourne. Craig Reynolds will bat second and be at shortstop with Tom Paciorek in left field and hitting third. Leon Roberts, the right fielder, will bat fourth. Bob Robertson will hit fifth and be the designated hitter, with Bruce Bochte batting sixth. And in center field, Bill Stein will hit seventh. He'll be at third base, with Juan Bernhardt hitting eighth, and he will be at first base. Batting ninth and doing the catching is Bob Stinson, and the starting pitcher is right-hander Dick Pohl. For the Angels, Rick Miller will lead it off. He'll be in center field. Bobby Grich batting second and playing second base. Lyman Bostock will hit third. He'll be in right field, with Ron Fairley batting fourth and at first base. Don Baylor will be the designated hitter and hit fifth. Joe Rudi batting sixth in left field. Batting seventh and at third base is Ron Jackson, with Dave Jock hitting eighth and at shortstop. Batting ninth and doing the catching is Brian Downing, and the starting pitcher, left-hander Frank Tanana, a record of 11 wins, 5 losses, 2-0 against the Mariners this year. He is 4-0 lifetime. Tanana making his 18th start of the year. The umpires for tonight's game, Al Clark will be behind the plate, Bill Kunkel at first. At second base is Bill Deegan, and over at third base is Terry Cooney. Now the Angels and the Mariners from Seattle as they get ready to go. The first of 4 tonight, the twilight doubleheader tomorrow night, and the Sunday afternoon game, and that will mark the final appearance of the Mariners here as the All-Star break gets underway on Monday. The All-Star game, of course, at San Diego. So we're ready to go as Larry Milbourne steps in to lead it off, and for the play, here's Dick Enberg.
Thank you, Don. Good evening, everybody. The Angels back home, and it's great to be back at Anaheim Stadium. 3 dates, 4 ball games with the Seattle Mariners. The Angels have won 4, lost 3 against Seattle this year. Larry Milbourne, switch hitting second baseman, leads it off. He's hitting .338. Been up 77 times, 26 hits, filling in for Julio Cruz and doing a great job for the Mariners. Tanana pumps, and the first pitch of the game is inside, ball 1. Downing behind the plate, the Angels have Jansen at third, Chalk at short, Grich and Fairley on the right side. The outfield left to right, Rudi, Miller, and Bostock. Tanana looking for his 12th win of the year, kicks and deals. Swing and a foul tip at the plate. 1-1 the count. The umpires showing no partiality. 2 of the umpires wearing Angel ball caps, and the other 2 wearing the Mariner hats. Plate umpire Al Clark and Bill Deegan with the Angel halo. Not sure that would ever fit an umpire. With Kunkel and Cooney wearing the Mariner hats. A high fly ball, sliced to right down the line, long run, Bostock and Grich makes the catch, just barely avoiding a collision with Bostock in foul territory. It appeared that the right fielder and second baseman were going to bump as they crossed the foul line, but Bostock able to swerve out of the way as Grich, angling back from his position at second base, made the catch as he crossed the foul line. 1 away, Milbourne fouls to second. Here's shortstop Craig Reynolds, the American League All-Star representative for the Seattle Mariners, facing the only Angel player to be in the All-Star game, Frank Tanana. So this is it for these 2 clubs. Tanana against Reynolds, the left-handed hitting shortstop, batting a fine .311. That's 8th best in the American League. The pitch by Tanana, outside, ball 1. Next dodger, Tom Paciorek is on deck. The outfield plays Reynolds to slap the ball to the opposite field. Shallow at third is Jackson. Tanana has assigned the outside target. The pitch is a bit high, 2-0. Fastball.
Dick, here's a series that the Angels have really got to bear down in, because they just finished with the Kansas City Royals. They've just finished a tough 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks against all the contenders, and they've got to be up for this series here.
The 2-0 pitch is high, 3-0. As you know well with your days with the Dodgers, that basically you fight those top teams maybe even at a 500 pace, but when you get to the teams lower in the division, you've got to belt them around a bit, try for the sweep. 3-0 pitch is on the outside corner, 3 balls and a strike.
And, of course, when you look at anybody that walks out in there in the Major League uniform, well, you know that they've got a chance to beat you on any given day. But when you're playing an expansion club, you've really got to battle them like you're playing the top club.
3-1 pitch, strike 2 called, hit the outside corner.
There's no such thing as throwing your glove out there against an expansion club because they can bounce around, and the Mariners have played well here at Anaheim Stadium. They are 7-6 or 6-5 at Anaheim Stadium. The Angels have actually fared better at the Kingdome in Seattle, where they're 8-3.
Tanana's 3-2 pitch is fouled. Watch out, off to the left and back into the first row of terrace boxes. Jim Fregosi, the Angel skipper, just as a reminder, all he has to do is post the facts of life, and that is that the Angels have a losing record against Seattle here at home. This is the first of 4. And if the Angels are to stay in first place, they have to pick up some wins against the Mariners. 3-2 delivery. Bounce to the right side. 2 big hops to Grich. He feeds fairly 2 away. Reynolds out by a stride as Tanana gets Milbourne and Reynolds to lead off this ball game. Here's left fielder Tom Paciorek, right-handed hitter, recently acquired by the Seattle Mariners. They signed him to a AAA contract, but he just ripped up the Pacific Coast League, and he's been doing the same to American League pitching. He's hitting .393, 11 hits and 28 at-bats. It was his 2-run single last night that beat the Oakland A's. He stands up in the box and takes a fastball inside. Paciorek has hit safely in 5 games, batting .579 in those 5. Tanana gets the low target to pitch. A change floats outside. 2-0. Leon Roberts on deck. Plenty of daylight left. The lights are on, but taking little effect. Mariners wearing their powder blue road uniforms, dark blue numerals, and yellow trim. 2-0 pitch. Fastball for a strike. That's a good Tanana fastball, the one that he starts a little inside and draws it over the corner on the right-handed batter. 2-1. They play Paciorek a step to pull. Tanana's ready, and here it comes. Swing and a ground ball, foul. Pass made to Pinson, the first base coach. A broken bat. Paciorek hit that one off the end of the stick. Sent that soft liner by Pinson. Jim Busby is Darrell Johnson's coach at third. Paciorek goes back to the lumber pile to get a new bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, no one aboard in the Mariner first inning. On the scoreboard, National League, the Dodgers at Houston lead 5-4 after 7 innings. Cruz has hit his 4th for the Astros. Baker, number 6 for the Dodgers. A 2-run homer in the 7th inning to give Los Angeles the lead at 5-4. The Giants, in the first of 2 at Cincinnati, held off the Reds and won 7-6. Johnny Bench made it close, a 2-run homer in the 9th inning, but the Giants win it by 1. Second game, Cincinnati leads 2-0 after 5. Home run by Mike Lum. The pitch, change, is hit to right center field, and there's no one there. Bostock over to try to cut it off. He backhands the ball. Paciorek going for 2. Here comes the throw, not in time. Paciorek with a double to right center. Now Tom went back to the bat rack, and he picked one out that had a good base hit in it. Line drive double to right center. Bostock fast feeling, but Paciorek playing it for a double all the way, hustling around first. And even though Bostock came up with it cleanly and made a strong throw, Paciorek had it beaten for the double. Leon Roberts, the right fielder, the cleanup man, then steps in. Widespread stance, deep in the box, slightly closed. He's the club leader in home runs with 10 and RBIs 37. He's hitting a solid .283. Other National League scores: Montreal at Philadelphia, and the Expos have a 7-3 lead after 8 innings. Lazinski has hit his 21st homer in that one. Pitch by Tanana. Strike at the knees. San Diego at Atlanta, and the Braves, playing some good baseball the last week and a half, have an 11-3 lead over the Padres in the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs have just scored 2 times at New York to take an 8-7 lead against the Mets in the bottom of the 6th. And the Pirates and Cardinals are tied at 1 after 6 in St. Louis. The pitch, curveball, fouled at the plate, trickles back to the backstop, and it's 0-2 to Roberts. Tanana pulled the string on the curveball. American League, Minnesota at Oakland, first of 2, no score in the 5th. Baltimore at Kansas City, 3-1. Royals lead the Orioles after 6. Detroit has just scored 4 more in the 5th inning. They lead Texas 8-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tanana has his sign, checks the runner, 2-strike pitch. Just misses inside with a fastball. The White Sox 2, Toronto 1 after 5 at Comiskey. Boston 5, Cleveland 5 after 6 in Cleveland. Apparently they had a 30-minute power failure in Cleveland. That's about the closest anyone's come to cutting off the electricity in that Boston Red Sox lineup. And they're back at bat in the top of the 7th to tie game. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. Strike 3. Chased the ball in the dirt. Tanana strikes out Roberts. No runs to hit, a man left at second after a half inning. The Mariners nothing. The Angels against right-hander Dick Paul are coming to bat. America. Angels come up in the last of the first inning. Facing number 13 of the Mariners, Dick Paul. He's 6'3" and 193, lost 33 pounds during the winter. He's from northern Michigan, Trout Creek, Michigan. That paints a pretty picture just in name alone, doesn't it? He's 4-1 against the Angels, lifetime. And last season in Seattle, after being picked in the expansion draft by Darrell Johnson, who, of course, managed him in the minor league system and in the majors with the Red Sox. Paul went 7-12 in his first year in Seattle. This year he's won 4, lost 9. One of his wins against the Angels. 5.81 is ERA. Rick Miller leads it off for the Angels. Grich and Bostock to follow. Miller batting .275 and continuing to play spectacularly in center field. Has a home run and 19 runs batted in. Paul delivers. Fastball for a strike. Right over the top. Set the defense for the Mariners. Bill Stein at third. Craig Reynolds the shortstop. Larry Milbourne and Juan Bernhardt on the right side. Paciorek, Bochte, and Roberts left to right in the outfield. Bob Stinson behind the plate. Too much time taken. Miller backs off. Crowd tonight, we would guess around 18,000. The 1-strike pitch is a breaking ball, way inside, 1-1. Expect an excellent turnout tomorrow night for the doubleheader. 1-1 pitch. Fastball thrown hard and just missed the inside corner, 2-1. Paul, little touch of the rosin bag, now hiding the ball in his glove, looks in, gets a sign from Stinson. The rock back in the pitch. Swing a ground ball back through the middle, second base, into center field for a base hit. The ball hit the second base bag as Miller leads off the Angel first inning with a base hit. Brings up the second baseman, Bobby Grich, hitting .232. We gave you all the scores except one in the American League. Larry Heisel has hit 2 home runs tonight for Milwaukee against the Yankees, and Ron Guidry. And Milwaukee leads 5-0 after 7. Guidry has been taken out of the game. So unless the Yankees come up with a lot of runs in the last 2 innings, Ron Guidry will suffer his first loss after 13 straight wins. Grich takes it high and inside, ball 1. Bernhardt, a third baseman, spelling Dan Meyer at first base. Meyer rested against the left-handed pitcher Tanana. Meyer's been in a bit of a slump anyway. Bob Clear helps Miller with his lead. Infield set for 2. Stein shallow at third. Throw to first and back easily is Miller. They spread out in the outfield against Grich. Toward the line a couple of steps and right is Roberts, and the same for Paciorek and left. Center fielder Bochte a couple of steps into left center, but the alleys are both open. Miller goes line drive, base hit left field. Miller turns second on his way to third. The throw to third base, not in time. On to second goes Grich, and the Angels have runners in scoring position. at third base. Miller slides in safely, and Grich alertly takes the extra base as the throw bobbled by Stein at third. So the Angels have a chance to get on the board here in the bottom of the first inning. Lyman Bostock, the right fielder. Hole winds the pitch. Breaking ball for a strike. Big overhand curveball that snapped in sharply on the inside corner. Bostock has hit safely in all but 3 of his last 33 games, raising his average to 280. The infield, Milbourne stays deep at second, right on the grass. Bernhardt a step behind the bag. Stein in at third. And Reynolds back at short. They'll give up a run, ground ball up the middle. This one almost hits Bostock. Lyman spinning away from a fastball at his right hip. 1-1 the count. After 5 in Texas, Tigers 8, Rangers 2. Minnesota scored at Oakland, lead 1-0 after 5.5. Swing and a miss by Bostock. 1-2, a fastball. The A's up last of the 6th inning. That's the first of a doubleheader. Minnesota in front 1-0. And in the second game at Cincinnati, the Reds 2, Giants 0, last of the 6th. Here no score, but with no one out, the Angels have Miller at third, Grich at second. The outfield around toward right for Bostock. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a looper into left center field for a base hit. Here comes Miller to score. Grich turns at third. Being waved in by McNamara. He scores. 2-0 Angels. Lyman Bostock getting a fastball inside and fought it off. Shoveled a single over Reynolds' head into left center field to score Miller and Grich as the Angels come home and celebrate with a home environs by picking up 3 consecutive singles and 2 quick runs off Dick Pole. Brings up first baseman Ron Fairley. Ron will be 40 years of age in 5 days. Bostock at first base. The pitch. Slider outside, ball 1. Fairley hitting .234, second on the club in home runs with 8. Ron's family here cheering on Dad tonight. The outfield deep toward right. Infield set for 2. Bostock has his lead, and the throw to first not in time. 2-0 Angels in the last of the first inning. And here in the twilight of the evening, some of the smog clearing enough that Mount Baldy can be spotted off in the distance over the left field scoreboard. Bostock goes. The pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. Over to take a look, Stein, but it's well beyond his reach, about 10 rows into the seats. 1-1 to Fairley as the Angels play a little hit and run. That worked effectively with Miller at first base when Grich, although he didn't exactly ground it through an open spot, he just hit a bullet over Stein's head into left field to move Miller to third, and on the throw, Grich took second. They both rode home on Bostock's single. On deck is Don Baylor. Baylor, the club leader in RBIs with 48. Bostock with a 2 in this first inning is second with 34. Crowd wants more as Fairley waves the wood. Pole sets. The pitch. Swing and a pop-up into right center. Out goes Milbourne, still backpedaling out and makes the catch. So the second baseman takes care of Fairley's pop fly. 1 away. Don Baylor steps in. Club leader in runs, hits. Check that. Runs, RBIs, home runs, and stolen bases. The hit leader is Bostock with 84. Angels 2, Mariners 0. Baylor sitting right on top of the plate. Big, strong, right-handed batter. Pole delivers. Bostock goes. The pitch is taken for a strike. The throw is not in time. A head-first slide by Bostock. Quick tag by Milbourne. But Bostock able to squeak in under the tag with his 8th steal of the season. That's 2 behind Baylor's club lead. Baylor taking the pitch, a strike at the knees. Umpire Al Clark examining the baseball as per the request of Baylor. The umpires waiting for their gear to arrive at Anaheim are wearing the ushers' pants, the blue pants with the orange stripe on the side, white shirts, and then the baseball caps. Bostock in scoring position. 1 out, and the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a line drive, one hopper to Milbourne. He has it. Bostock holds. Milbourne throws out Baylor. He sent a screeching one hopper right at Milbourne. It was positioned perfectly near second base to throw him out. The cheer for Joe Rudi, who has had a couple of Grand Slam homers in the last 2 weeks and has 13 runs batted in the last 12 games, hitting .209. Had the big blow in the first inning last night against Kansas City. I know John Reynolds at KTLA here in Los Angeles and the chairman of the board, Gene Autry, very pleased at the high ratings received by the Angel telecast from Kansas City. Foul at the plate, 0-1 to Rudi. The 3 games from Kansas City, the highest ratings of any 3 games in Angel history on television. So, reflecting the interest in the ball club, and rightfully so, this tight divisional fight in the West, and the Angels clinging to a half game lead as we begin play this weekend. Bostock off second, the pitch. Low and outside, 1-1. Kansas City behind Paul Splittorff tonight, leading 3-1. Scott McGregor was the starter for Baltimore. They play now in the 8th inning. Bostock with his 2-run single leads at second, 2 out. The pitch drives Rudi off the plate, 2-1. Ron Jackson would be next. Paul, 27 years of age, attended Northern Michigan University, Upper Peninsula. Stares down the chute, gets a sign from Stinson, looks back at Bostock, sets and delivers. Swing and a fly ball to left, shallow. Long run in for Paciorek. He's there, makes the catch, and the inning is over. The Angels settle for 2 runs and 3 hits and leave 1. And after an inning in Anaheim, Angels 2, Mariners nothing. Frank Tanana staked to a 2-0 lead. Will be facing Bob Robertson, Bruce Bochte, and Bill Stein. And the Seattle order, top of the 2nd inning. Tanana has always pitched well in Anaheim. 43 wins, 22 losses lifetime, 2.18 ERA. As we told you, the Mariners have never defeated him. He's 4-0. Robertson, his big years with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Stocky right-handed hitter, good power to all fields, especially strong to right center, although the Angels play him to pull. Hits out of the closed stance. Tanana kicks and deals. Swing, and there goes a high shot to deep center. Miller has room, however, fading back near the warning path to make the catch. Robertson charging into that first delivery by Tanana, but hit it straight away to center field. Bruce Bochte, the ex-Angel center fielder. Well, looks as if Bruce has lost some weight since we last saw him. He's really trimmed down. His average the same at 266. He was hitting over 300 last the Mariners visited. High with a fastball is Tanana. Bochte against the Angels this season, hitting .417. His average 266, 5 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Squared away stands, chokes up on the handle of the bat. Tanana ready, rocks into motion, the 1-0 pitch. Outside, a fastball. Angels baseball brought to you by Chevrolet. You know, there was a time when it was hard to find sleek, sporty styling in a small car. Well, Chevy Monza has put an end to all that. Here's driving fun beyond your expectations, within your means, and as close as your Chevy dealer. High fly to deep right center. Miller on his horse. Back, warning path, wall. Bochte will touch them all. sixth home run of the season, a shot over the center field fence. A 2-0 pitch, and he hit it deep to straightaway center. Always frustrated by the fact that he could not hit more home runs as an Angel. Bochte hits his sixth of the year off Tanana, and he got all of that one. So it's a 2-1 ball game as the Mariners come back with one here in the second. Here's Bill Stein. Takes a change, high, ball one. Stein, the third baseman, batting .241, 2 home runs. 21 runs batted in, leads the club and doubles with 17. Tanana's pitch. Swing, a little looper out behind second. Grich going up. It's going to fall for a base hit. Bostock in to get it on one hop. And Stein has the Mariners' third hit of the game. Now the tying run on for Seattle in the top of the second. Brings up first baseman Juan Bernhardt, hitting .279. First baseman, Cleveland scored 4 times in the 7th inning. They lead Boston 9-5 after 7 at Munich Stadium, banks of Lake Erie. Bernhardt, widespread stance. Bat down on the end, right-handed hitter. Tanana to the plate, change, waved at and missed. Angels 2, Mariners 1. Top of the second inning, Bochte with a bowling home run to center. And Stein following with a soft single to right center. He's at first. Tanana to the plate. Curveball grounded back to Tanana. He one-hands it, goes to second for one. Grich back to first. Double play. That was right out of the textbook. Tanana slapping at that one hopper back to the mound. Turned and fired right to the bag, and he just hoped someone would be there. It was Grich. He fielded it, kicked the bag, and fired back to Fairley to complete the 1-4-3 double play. A run on 2 hits. No one left. Middle of the second. Angels 2, Mariners 1. The Angels up in the bottom of the second inning. They lead the Mariners 2-1. It'll be Ron Jackson, Dave Chalk, and Brian Downing, the lower third of the Angel batting order against right-hander Dick Cole. Angels with their 2 runs in the first inning on singles by Miller and Grich and a 2-run single by Bostock, and Baylor blasted one for an out with Bostock at second. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. Dick Cole rocks into motion the pitch. Ground ball up the middle. To his left goes Reynolds. Nice pickup. Throw to first in time. Good play by Craig Reynolds as that ball took a little high kick as he moved to his left, and he was able to swing his glove up quickly to field it near the bag and second and throw out Jackson by a half step. Went away, and Dave Chalk steps in. First, let's pause for station identification. For the best in sports coverage, Angel Baseball can be heard on KSMA Santa Maria on Angels Radio 78.
This is Dick Whittinghill with a suggestion. When the game is over, just leave your dial set to 710. That way you won't miss a thing, and you'll be waking up tomorrow with me. That's the Dick Whittinghill Show every morning on KMPC.
Los Angeles.
First pitch to Dave Chalk, a strike, and right back comes Cole, and Chalk rips one into the first base dugout of the Mariners to scatter some of the Seattle players around. It's 2 strikes on Chalk. Dave hitting .261, 17 runs batted in, way up on the handle of the bat. The outfield plays him a shade to pull. The pitch, outside and low, 1-2. Cole, big right-hander. Into motion, the pitch is outside again, 2-2. Good to have with us at Anaheim Stadium as a guest of Vice President General Manager Buzzy Bavesi, the head football coach at the University of Southern California, John Robinson, relaxing tonight, but he's going to be plenty busy shortly as he'll get his team ready for the Pacific 10 race. 2-2 the count on Chalk. The pitch. Swing and a chopper to third, foul. John McNamara vacates his position on the third base coaching lines. Lets Bill Stein glove it. 2-2. Barely put away professional basketball and hockey, and we're talking about football, and it won't be long. Rams will be opening camp shortly just down the freeway at Cal State Fullerton. 2-2 pitch. Almost hit Chuck with a fastball. 3-2. One out, bases empty. Last of the second inning. Bull stares in, gets his sign from Stinson. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Hit the outside corner. Chuck was on his way to first base, and he comes back to bark at plate umpire Al Clark. Chuck not happy at all. The usual silent Texan just nose to nose with Clark and has his say, and so does Clark, and back to the dugout goes the loser, Dave Chuck of the Angels. First strikeout for Dick Pohl, 2 gone, and here's Brian Downing hitting .232. Brian with an RBI double last night in Kansas City, his 16th run driven in. The outfield plays him dead to Pohl. Swing and a foul, rolls it back toward the box seats near the Angel dugout. Off the field news, Carney Lansford, the exciting young third baseman of the Angels, is off the disabled list, activated by the Angels before the game tonight after he took batting practice and showed that he is healthy again. Dave McNamara has been sent back to Salt Lake City. Not without a moment of glory. His home run, first major league at bat. High with a fastball is a Pohl, and it's 1-1.
You know, it's got to be a little disheartening for Dave McNamara, but the one thing, the plus side in his favor, is that he's shown a couple of clubs what he can do up here.
1-1 pitch is rolled foul off third. That's a good point. That not with the Angels. Someone else may say, hey, here's a young man who's got good speed and makes contact.
That's exactly right. So certainly all is not lost for Dave. He's certainly got a career ahead of him, and he's shown, like I say, a couple of clubs exactly what Dave McNamara can do.
Fastball inside 2-2, and the other plus, even though he would like to have stayed on the Major League roster, is the fact that he's had a taste of big league cooking, and he has to be bigger and stronger for it all.
Well, he knows what it's all about. Just work hard and strive to get here.
Foul again by Downing off the plate umpire Clark Shingard, and it's 2-2. So in the last week, the Angels making a couple of player moves to get Nolan Ryan and Carney Lansford back on the active list. Ike Hampton and Dave McNamara back to Salt Lake City. 2 out here in the second. 2-1 Angels. The pitch. Swing a line drive center field. Bochte charging and makes the catch on the run. Bochte read it well, sprinting in toward the center of the diamond and reached down, picked it off just below his knee. Now the Angels, Downing in tough luck, lines out to center. Side out in order, and after 2 innings at the Big A, Angels 2, Seattle 1. Two innings complete at Anaheim Stadium. This first of a 4-game series. The umpires, along with their wardrobe being lost, of course, the rest of the gear not there, including their little brush broom and broom, and they had to come out there with the broom that the ball boy uses to sweep off the on-deck circle to clean off home plate. After 2 innings, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Angels, a run on 3 hits for the Mariners. Dick Enberg with Don Drysdale. Our producer-engineer Dick Nelson at Anaheim Stadium, ready to go. Top of the 3rd inning, and here's Big D.
All right, Dick. Bobby Stinson stands in, the switch-hitting catcher for Seattle, as Tanana delivers a curveball taken low, ball 1. Stinson hitting .282, 6 home runs, 32 RBIs. On deck, the leadoff hitter, Larry Milbourne. Here's the 1-0 pitch by Tanana. Ground ball hit off the end of the bat to the shortstop, Chuck. He charges, straightens up, and throws him out. 1 away, Seattle 3rd. Now the Brewers continue to play good ball as they shut out the Yankees 6-0. 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Milwaukee. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Yankees. Larry Heisel hit his 16th home run of the year in the first inning with 2 men on to give the Brewers a very quick 3-0 lead. Tanana delivers to Milbourne, and a curveball taken low, ball 1. Now Heisel is 16th in the first 2 on. Very quickly it was 3-0. They picked up 3 more and beat the Yankees 6-0. Next pitch a little bit inside, and the count is 2-0. And then Heisel again in the 7th with nobody on, so he hit 2 tonight, 16 and 17. Lezcano hit his 12th in the 8th with nobody on. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's outside and high, and the count 3-0. Now Tanana falls behind Milbourne, 3 balls, no strikes. He popped a chalk to Bobby Grich, the second baseman, made a fine running catch just in foul territory down the right field line. There's a fastball. That's in and over. The count goes to 3-1. Caldwell, the winner. He is 9-5, and Ron Guidry took his first loss of the year. Guidry is 13-1 in a game played an hour and 59 minutes at County Stadium, Milwaukee. 3-1 pitch inside, ball 4.
Don, that means that Guidry comes up 2 games short of the Major League record or American League record of 15 straight wins. Dave McNally and Johnny Allen started their seasons 15-0. Well, that's not a bad start, nevertheless. 13-1.
Not at all. And, you know, you just stop and think of where the Yankees might be if he didn't have that start. What if he was something like 10-5 and take away? The Yankees are way back. They're way back as it is right now. They're 10 games behind, but they could be even more had it not been for Guidry. Tanana sets, and the first pitch to the left-hand hitting shortstop, Craig Reynolds, is in and over, strike 1 called. Reynolds bounced to Grich his first time at bat. Milbourne at first. He represents a tying run. The Angels 2, Seattle 1. In the top half of the 3rd. A good crowd at County Stadium for that Yankee-Milwaukee game. 40,210. Tanana to the stretch, and the pitch to Reynolds, a curveball, drops in and over. The count 0-2. Milwaukee's been playing good baseball, but the Red Sox have been so hot that nobody can even gain on them. The Yankees now, they're 10 out. Milwaukee started tonight 10.5, 10 over the 500 mark, 45-35. 2-strike pitch down low, and the count goes to 1-2. Angel Baseball is brought to you by Chevron USA. You can stop in at the Chevron along your way today and take advantage of the offer participating dealers are making on the Atlas Pace Center tire. Buy one, get another at half price at your Chevron station. 1-2 the count. Tanana reading signs from Downing, sets. Runner goes. The next pitch is a fly ball to left field. Milbourne can't pick it up, and now he does so. Rudi waits for it to come down and makes the catch. Milbourne back to first base.
Not just checking that Yankee record on the year. The Yankees are 10 games above 500, so that means that Guidry's 13-1. The rest of the Yankee pitching staff 2 games under 500.
Now they have been hit by the woes. There's no question about that. Even after the game Monday night, Eddie Figueroa left and came out to the West Coast to have his arm looked at. Here's Tom Paciorek, takes a breaking pitch outside, ball 1. Tommy doubled up the alley, right center field his first time at bat. Now Bostock moving off the line in right towards the alley. They bunch Paciorek. Rudi about straight away. Miller same in center field. Tanana sets. Here's the 1-0 pitch inside with a fastball. The count 2-0. Paciorek at 393, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, has a 6-game hitting streak going for him. Right-hand hitter coming up in the Dodger organization. Wearing number 14 on the back of his Baby Robin blues, the traveling blues that the Seattle Mariners wear. Gold and blue striping around the waist, around the arms. Jim Busby coaching at third for Seattle. Beta Pinson over at first. Tanana blowing a bubble as he sets. He goes to first base. They got him picked off. They throw to second, and they got him. Now Milbourne thrown out. That goes 1, 3, 6 if you might be scoring. Milbourne caught stealing. Seattle gone in the third. No run. No hits, no errors. They leave nobody. And after 2.5, it's the Angels 2 and the Mariners 1.
The sporty Chevy Monza.
When you're driving down the road and you're moving through a curve and your car's looking good, it's showing lots of nerve. It's a Monza, a Chevrolet.
so well would be priced so low. Only $3,759. That's the manufacturer's suggested retail price, including dealer preparation and California emissions. Ellie's little number.
Churning lots ahead, standing up above the herd, and your car's moving smooth, start spreading the word. It's a Monza by Chevrolet.
The new Chevy Monza, $3,759. For a car so sporty and so well equipped, it's priced surprisingly low.
Monza by Chevrolet.
See your local Chevrolet dealer now.
As we go to the last half of the third inning, it'll be the top of the Angel order, Rick Miller, Bobby Grich, Lyman Bostock to face right-hander Dick Pole. Angels 2, the Mariners 1. Miller singled and scored in the first inning as the Angels backed up 3 straight base hits. Miller, Grich, and Bostock to score their 2. Pole's first pitch is taken high. Ball 1, a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Pole, kind of a deep sigh. Stein up on the grass at third. The next pitch to Miller is a breaking pitch high. Pole not too happy with that call. Minnesota on top of the Oakland A's in their twilight doubleheader, 1-0 with the A's hitting in the 6th inning. Zahn against Rinko, the first of 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Miller runs up and bluffs a bunt, takes it in and over, the count 2-1. Looking at the lights out in deep left center field, we see a bank of lights has just gone out. Here's a 2-1 pitch. There's a drive down the right field line. It's hooking to the corner. A fair ball. It'll go for extra bases. Miller on his way for 2 as the right fielder Roberts gets it back in. So Rick Miller, a 2 for 2 night. And it's hit number 4 off a pole. Boy, that is something you think back, and of course hindsight is so great. But the way the Kansas City Royals position their outfield against Miller, and to watch the Seattle Mariners, how they that would have been at least a triple at Kansas City, because Clint Hurdle would have been way over in right center field, and on that turf, had to bounce around for a while. Here's Bobby Grich. The pitch by Pole was taken high and inside. Ball 1. Grich singled and scored his first time at bat. Bobby starting tonight at 2:32, now going to 2:35. Miller sits safely in 12 of his last 13 games. Pole set it to Belt. The pitch to Grich is in and over, strike 1 call. After 8, Kansas City leading Baltimore 3-0. Detroit just jumping all over the Texas Rangers. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Grich to Bunny, does so first base side. Pole looks at third, goes to first, and the sacrifice works. Good job by Bobby Grich. Nobody out. You've got to get that man to third base some way, and Bobby executes perfectly. That'll be a sacrifice, 1-3. And here's Lyman Bostock, and the Mariners bring their infield in. The outfield, they play Bostock to pull, with Roberts deep in right, Bochte deep in right center, but the left fielder, Tom Paciorek, is about straightaway left. The pitch to Bostock hits him up in the shoulder. Now Lyman goes down. He doesn't say anything, takes a glancing blow. Now Clark out, says something to Pole, and Bostock's at first base as Rick Smith goes out to check in the Angel trainer, and Ron Fairley will be the hitter. Now Lyman's okay. He's up. He doesn't rub it. Rick Smith goes back to the dugout. That just kind of a glancing blow up on his right shoulder. Now Bernhardt will hold Bostock. The infield will move back. They'll look for the ground ball in 2. Stein even with a bag at third. Pole checking signs. Fairly in. Pole set. And a throw to first and Bostock back. It is 10-2, Detroit over Texas, with the Rangers hitting in the last half of the 6th inning. Pole has his sign. He checks Bostock and goes over again, and Lyman back under the tag. Fairly popped to the second baseman his first time at bat. Don Baylor on deck. Toronto over Chicago 3-2 after 7 complete. Carty and Mayberry have homered. John Mayberry's been hot. Pole set it to Bell. He checks Bostock, goes over again, and Lyman back in time. In that Detroit-Texas game, Rosema all the way for the Tigers. Ellis started for Texas, Lindblad, Barker, Cleveland, and Umbarger. Fairly steps out, takes a little practice swing, loosens up a little bit. And the other American League final, that is Milwaukee 6-0 over the New York Yankees. The pitch to Fairley, checks on a breaking pitch, and they appeal no, says third base umpire Terry Cooney. 1-0. Mike Lum hit his 4th home run of the year in the 5th with a man on in that second game at Cincinnati as the Reds lead the Giants 2-0. The Giants winning the opener 7-6. Blue over Seaver. Pole has his side. Right-hander sets, and the pitch to Fairley. Fly ball hit to center field. Hit well. Bochte has to give ground. Both runners tag. Here comes Miller. Bostock going to go to second base, and they get him. But the run scores, and the Angels lead it by a score of 3-1. And here comes Darrell Johnson out. He wants to talk to Al Clark because he doesn't believe that. The sacrifice fly by Fairley, and Bostock is out 8-6. And the Angels retired. They pick up a run on a hit, no errors, and they leave nobody. And after 3, the Angels 3 and Seattle 1.
Chevron dealers are convinced that a soft sell is the way to deliver a big tire sale message. So, speaking on behalf of participating Chevron dealers, Ernie. Go ahead, Ernie.
Well, shouldn't I act excited or something? I mean, the offer is buy 1 Atlas pace setter and get another whole tire at half price.
Ernie, our customers will know a good offer on a quality tire when they hear it. You don't have to shout. Just talk to them like you talk to your customers at the station.
Like a real person.
Right. Go ahead.
Participating Chevron dealers have a really great offer for you on Atlas pace setter tires. Buy 1, get a second one at half price. Now, an offer like that on a quality tire speaks for itself. The Atlas pace setter has strong fiberglass cord belts and polyester cord body plies.
Now, repeat the offer, Ernie.
Okay. Buy 1 Atlas pace setter and get another at half price.
You have just heard a soft sell on a tough tire by a participating Chevron dealer.
Hey, can I do another one?
In the top half of the 4th inning, Seattle will go to Tom Paciorek and then Leon Robertson, Bob Robertson in that order to face left-hander Frank Tanana. Angels on top, 3-1. Tanana completing his warm-up tosses. Paciorek was at bat when Milbourne was picked off in the 3rd inning and was eventually the 3rd out, so Tom will stand back in. He doubled up the alley right center field his first time at bat. Tanana checking signs. And the left-hander winds and delivers the first pitch is in and over. Strike 1 called, a fastball inside corner. After 7, it's the Dodgers 5 and Houston 4. Cruz and Baker have homered. There's a fastball away, and the count 1-1. That's Rao against Lemongello. Now the Giants scored a run in the 7th. It's 2-1 Cincinnati with the Reds hitting in the last half of the 7th. Here's the 1-1 pitch, a curveball. Line drive, right field. Bostock giving ground, reaches up and makes a catch. A nice running catch by Lyman Bostock. That ball hit hard and starting to take off as Paciorek drove it again to the alley in right center field. Tommy's got good power. But Bostock able to run it down. One away, and here's Roberts. He struck out his first time at bat. Tanana winds, and the first pitch to Roberts, a change, swung on and missed, strike one. 0-1 the count. Montreal defeated Philadelphia in front of 45,193 at Veterans Stadium, 7-4. Rogers over Ruthven. Rogers is now 11-7. Here's the one-strike pitch, high, and Roberts spins his head out of the way in a hurry. Well, they had the ball carrying it. The vet, Cromartie, Valentine, Carter, Luzinski, and Boa all homered in that ball game. Here's the 1-1 pitch, curveball swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. Dodgers defeat Houston by a score of 7-4. That's the final. Rao the winner, 9-4. Lemongello the loser. He is 7-8. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Leon Roberts. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Pops him up. Left side. Dave Chuck says he wants it. Back on the outfield grass behind the bag and makes the catch. There's 2 gone to Bob Robertson. Well, a reminder that Angel Baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. And when you're with old friends and, of course, talking over the good old days, well, that's the perfect time to call in the king of beers. Budweiser tastes just as good now as it did then. Here's Bob Robertson, and the first pitch, a fastball, backs him away. The count 1-0. After 8, Pittsburgh 2, Cardinals 1. Templeton has hit his second home run of the year in the first inning for St. Louis. That's their only run. The 1-0 pitch, fastball, backs him away again, and the count is 2-0. Through 8. It's the Chicago Cubs 8, the New York Mets 7. All 7 runs for the Mets coming in the 5th inning. Cox and Montanez have homered in that ball game. Here's the 2-0 pitch, a change, cued out in front of the plate. Downing out in a hurry. Tanana gets out of the way, and Downing throws him out. Now the right man made the right play. Downing had to play right in front of him. And the Mariners are gone, 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and they leave nobody. After 3.5, the Angels 3, Seattle 1.
Well, will wonders never cease? A miniature version of the King of Beer. Right, pal? That's the new Bud Half Pint. 8 easy-tasting ounces of Budweiser in a neat little can. I see. But will it play in Tuscaloosa? You tell me. Give it a try. Well, how's it taste? Unmistakably Budweiser. I'd better have another sip just to make sure. Ah, yes, I think I'll pick up an 8-pack or 2. There you have it, folks. The new Bud Half Pint. Perfect when you want a lot of quality, a little at a time. Available at all my favorite stores, I presume? Yes, indeed. And remember, when you say Bud Half Pint, you've said it short.
Because the king of beers is leading all the rest. When you say Budweiser,
You've said it short.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
In the Angel 4th inning, they'll go to Don Baylor, Joe Rudi, Ron Jackson in that order. Now, once again, running down all the scores. Through 7, Minnesota 1-0 over Oakland after 7 innings. That's the first of 2. Kansas City has defeated Baltimore. That's the final, 3-1. Split off over McGregor. Pitch to Baylor down low. That's ball 1. Detroit 10, Texas 2, through 6. That's 6 complete. 3-2, Toronto over Chicago after 7 complete. The next pitch is outside, ball 2. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Baylor. Hit foul right side out of play, and the count moves on to 2-1. A power failure in Cleveland, but after 7, it's the Indians 9 and the Red Sox 5. Milwaukee shut out the Yankees 6-0. The National League, Dodgers 7-4 over Houston. San Francisco 7-6 over Cincinnati in the first of 2. The Reds hitting in the 7th inning in the second game, leading 2-1. Baylor sends a ground ball wide at third base, hit left field. Now Don Baylor leads off the Angel 4th inning with a base hit to left, and we're going to pause for station identification. This is Angel Radio 78.
This is Jeff Edwards. For good music, news, sports, and all the great jokes of the 50s, tune me in 9 to noon daily.
KMBC Los Angeles.
Here's Joe Rudi with Baylor at first. Bernhardt holding. Finish him off. It's Montreal 7-4 over Philadelphia. That a final. Atlanta hitting in the last half of the 8th, leading San Diego 11-3. Paul goes to first, chases Baylor back. After 8 complete, Chicago 8-7 over the Mets, and after 8 complete, Pittsburgh 2-1 over the Cardinals. Right here, it is 3-1 Angels in the last half of the 4th. Baylor at first, a leadoff single. The pitch to Rudi inside, backs him off the plate, and the count 1-0. Rudi in his last 12 games has had 13 RBI. Don Baylor talking to first base umpire Bill Kunkel about something. Baylor with the lead, Bernhardt holding. Don a pretty good lead. Pull sets, and the pitch to Rudi. Ground ball hit to the hole, base hit left field by the shortstop Reynolds. Baylor around second. He'll hold right there as Paciorek gets the ball back in, and the Angels have the first 2 men on in the 4th inning. And it's hit number 6 for the Angels, and here's Ronnie Jackson. Now Baylor at second, Rudi at first. Ron Jackson bounced to the shortstop Reynolds his first time at bat, so the Mariners look for the bunt. Reynolds keeping Baylor close. A big hole on that left side. Paul sets a pitch to Jackson, spins him out of there. 1-0 the count. Fastball inside. And in the pair that Jim Fregosi was going to bunt. Here's the 1-0 pitch. A ground ball hit the Reynolds. He goes to Milbourne for 1. Back to first, a double play as Baylor goes to third. Jackson hit it right on the button, but right to the shortstop Reynolds. Now very quickly, there's 2 gone, and here's Dave Chalk, who was caught looking his first time at bat.
Don, the Mariners lead the American League in double plays. That's their 96th. They have 5 more than the Tigers in Toronto. I'd like to talk to you sometime. Is that a negative stat or not?
It can be. There's a foul right side out of play. Actually, it means there's a lot of men on base, and they're turning them over. It depends on which way you look at it. Of course, I look at it as a negative stat.
Danny Kaye agrees with you, but he always has.
0-1 the count. Oh, and 1, and the pitch to Chalk, and that's outside. The count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
How many Danny Kays are there? I've seen about 5 already tonight. I mean, he's everywhere, isn't he?
He's all over. I'll tell you, Danny's got, of course, one of the owners of the Seattle Mariners, and a great baseball fan. Here's the 1-1 pitch, a ground ball hit up the middle. Reynolds can't get it, base hit center field. Taylor scores. Chuck around first. He holds there. And it's 4-1 Angels. Now Dave Chuck drives in his 18th run of the year. The Angels pick up their 7th hit, lead by 3, 4-1, and here's Brian Downing. Downing lined hard to Bruce Bochte. His first time at bat, he takes a breaking pitch down low, ball 1. Downing backs out. He checks with his third base coach, Johnny McNamara. On deck, the leadoff hitter, Rick Miller. 1-0 the count. Paul sets. He goes to first, and Chalk back on his hands and knees. 1 ball, no strikes. Paul again ready, delivers a breaking pitch a little bit high, and the count goes 2-0. Bob Clear coaching at first, helping Dave Chalk with his lead. A run in for the Angels here in the 4th inning. They lead 4-1. Reynolds slightly to the hole at short as Paul goes over to first and Chalk back in time. The infield, Milbourne over towards the bag at second. A big hole on that right side with Bernhardt holding Chalk. Stein back at third. The pitch to Downing, a drive hit deep down the left field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is a play ball. It's gone. Home run, Brian Downing. Downing hits his 4th home run of the year. RBI 17 and 18, and Wes Stock, the pitching coach, goes to the mound. And that appears that that'll be all for Dick Pohl. The Angels lead it 6-1. Now Brian Downing, he hit a bullet down that left field line. It's just a question of whether it's going to stay fair or hook foul. Third base umpire Terry Cooney right on the line, and then the right arm went out, signaling the home run, and also the exit of right-hander Dick Pohl, as the Angels now lead it 6-1. So we have a pitching change here at the Big 8, and while we have some time, here's a word from Dick.
Don, you're right. I think if we replayed that home run and just the sound, the sound of the ball being struck by Downing, like a firecracker was in it. He just exploded it down the left field line. A reminder, folks, 2 major events coming your way during the Angels' current homestand. Saturday, July 15th, that's going to be Hollywood Stars Night. The Stars and the Sports Writers Sportscasters team. Many of your favorites in movie and television land will be here. Chuck Connors, Joe Campanella, Greg Morris, Wes Parker, Ken Pacord, Michael Dante, Norm Alden, Harvey Korman, and many, many more. See them next Saturday before a night game with the Detroit Tigers. Also in the Tiger Series, a week from Monday night, July 17th, your next family night, box seats at half price, $2 1/4 for club and field boxes, $2 for terrace boxes. That's Monday night, July 17th, your next family night here at the Big A. Now Brian Downing has hit his first home run at Anaheim Stadium as an Angel, his 4th of the year. Let's quickly check the other American League scores. First of 2 in Oakland, Minnesota 1, Oakland nothing in the 8th inning. Final, Kansas City defeated Baltimore 3-1, Splittorff over McGregor. 8th inning in Texas, Tigers 10, Rangers 2 in the 8th inning behind Dave Rozema. Toronto at Chicago, the Blue Jays lead 3-2 in the 9th inning. Cardi and Mayberry have homered for Toronto. Cleveland leads Boston 9-5 in the 8th at Cleveland. And Milwaukee snapped Ron Guidry's winning streak at 13 as he lost tonight. Milwaukee 6, the Yankees nothing. National League scores later.
All right, Dick, thank you. Tom House comes on, and the first pitch to Rick Miller outside, ball 1. Tom, a record of 4 wins, 4 losses, an ERA of 5.36, making his 13th relief appearance of the year. He has started 8 times. Left-hander's next pitch is in and over, and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now 3 runs in for the Angels here in the 4th inning, and they break it open for Tanana 6-1. Bobby Grich on deck. House winds in the 1-1 pitch. A breaking pitch hit foul left side out of play. They count 1-2. Oh, it is amazing how just in the course of 24 hours, and you look at the defense on one player. You think back to Kansas City and you look at the Mariners, and it's 180 degrees as they defense Rick Miller. Here's the 1-2 pitch outside, ball 2, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch, a breaking pitch hit back right to House. A good play. Left-hander goes on to Bernhardt. And Miller and the Angels are retired in the 4th inning. But they come up with 4 runs. Check that, 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors, and they leave nobody. And after 4, it's the Angels 6, and the Mariners 1.
All right, sure is a crowded flight.
Yeah, see, would you mind moving your foot?
Oh, that's not my foot. That belongs to the guy sitting by the window.
It does?
Yeah, those are my feet over there in front of him. You see with the loafers?
Oh, yeah, nice loafers. Sir, excuse me, would you mind moving?
He's asleep.
Well, could you shake him for me?
Why don't you shake him?
I can't move my arms.
Flying coach on most airlines can be pretty crowded in these days of discount fares, but on Continental, regular coach has its own seating area. We don't jam discount passengers into coach. In fact, we're working harder than ever to give the coach passenger the treatment that he's paying for. More room, better meals, less crowding, and a better choice of seats right up to the last minute. Before your next business trip, call Continental or your travel agent.
Stewardess?
Yes?
How can I eat my soup? I can't move here.
I'll get you a straw, sir.
For reservations and information, call your travel agent, company travel department, or Continental Airlines.
From Anaheim Stadium, along with Dick Enberg and Dick Nelson, I'm Don Drysdale. After 4, it's the Angels, 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Mariners, a run on 3 hits, no errors. As we go to the 5th inning of play, Frank Tanana staked to a 5-run lead. And back for the action, here's Dick.
All right, Don. We gave you the American League scores a bit earlier. Let's check the National League scoreboard as Tanana takes a few extra warm-ups. That big doubleheader in Cincinnati. First game won by the Giants 7-6 as Vida Blue bested Tom Seaver. Second game, they're in the 8th inning. The Reds lead the Giants 2-1. The Dodgers have defeated Houston 7-4. Doug Rau over Limoncello. Final, Montreal beat the Phillies 7-4. Final, Atlanta 11, San Diego 3. They're in the 9th inning at New York, with the Cubs in front of the Mets 8-7. Tanana at the windup. The pitch to Bochte is outside. Ball 1. Bochte homered over the center field fence. His first time up. Pittsburgh has a 2-1 lead with the Cardinals at bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. Tanana pumps and the 1-0 pitch. Curveball fouled off the catcher Downing. Back to the screen. The Angels scored 2 in the first inning off Pole on singles by Miller and Grich and a 2-run single from Bostock. Bochte, with 1 out in the second inning, cleared the center field boards by plenty with a long shot, his 6th home run of the year. The Eagles scored another run in the 3rd to make it 3-1, a double by Miller, a sacrifice and fairly sacrificed fly. Then 3 runs to knock Pole out of the game in the 4th, singles by Baylor and Rudi, RBI single by Chalk, and a 2-run homer by Downing. Curveball ripped right and foul back into the seats. 10 rows or so. In that game at Atlanta, 11 runs, 15 hits for the Braves, 3 runs, 7 hits for San Diego. Mailer 3-4 beat Perry 9-4, 9,605 the attendance. The 1-2 pitch, blown outside with a curve. Jackson, Chalk, Grich, and Fairley around the horn on the Angel infield. Rudi in left, Miller in center, Bostock in right. Downing behind the plate, 25-year-old Frank Tanana on the mound. The 2-2 pitch, high, a fastball. And with his homer, first time up, Bochte continues to punish his former teammates. He was hitting .417 against the Angels this year. The 3-2 delivery. Swing and a foul on the screen, and Bochte took a big cut at that fastball. 2 for the price of 1 tomorrow night. A doubleheader, the first of the home season here at Anaheim. Glenn Abbott and Jim Colburn, a pair of right-handers for the Mariners, against the Angels' Chris Knapp and Dave Frost. Nolan Ryan will pitch against Rick Honeycutt the Sunday 1 o'clock game. 3-2 pitch. Swing, a line drive, left field, slicing down the line. Fair ball into the corner. Over to play the carom is Rudi. On to second goes Bochte with a stand-up double. Now Bochte, a home run and a double to left. 2 for 2 as he leads off the 5th inning with a sharp shot to the opposite field. Angels baseball brought to you by Continental Airlines. If you've ever been in a traffic jam at LA International, you know the meaning of the word hassle. Next time you're flying to Seattle or Portland, take the easy way out. Fly Continental from Hollywood Burbank or Ontario Airport. Continental has 3 hassle-free flights a day. Down that commercial will never be the same. Every time I read it, I think of former President Richard Nixon, who knows that one by heart. Tanana looks in, gets a sign. Bochte at second base, no one out. Stein the hitter. Tanana slowly rests at the waist, looks back at second. The pitch. Strike, a fastball.
I got to laugh at Al Clark when he was out there, because he's got the Angel cap on. He's got it turned around and the bill cocked up in back, and on the side it looks like he's got a carpenter's apron to keep the baseballs in. The umpire's uniforms didn't get here.
Swing and a miss to the curve, and Stein has the count 0-2.
But he looks like, well, it looks like something you might see in a semi-pro game over in Brooklyn.
His shirt tail is out and back. Pants are baggy, wearing red Angel spikes. Those blue Usher pants with the orange trim down the side. The pitch, outside and low, 1-2. Of course, the tailoring isn't quite the same as the umpire's wardrobe, where you can hide those shin guards and the chest protector underneath. He's a blocky build at best. The pitch. Inside, 2-2. He does look like someone just get the game over and get to that beer keg.
That's what they're playing for today. On Sunday afternoon game, play for the king of beer. The umpire's always invited to the winning side.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bochte at second with a double. Stein waiting. Tanana has a sign. The pitch. Just missed inside. Tanana just turns his head to the side in disappointment. Thought he had him struck out. Stein blooped a single to right center his first time up. Now the Cleveland Indians were leading the Boston Red Sox. You know what's coming. 9-5 going into the 9th inning in Cleveland. Boston scored 4 to tie. High and outside, ball 4. So the Mariners, trailing 6-1, have the first 2 men aboard in the 5th inning. That is the second walk by Tanana. Brings up Juan Bernhardt. He's bounced into a 1-4-3 double play his first time up. And the man has sparked the 4-run rally, the veteran Carl Yastrzemski, at his 9th home run of the year. Check that, his 8th home run of the year with a man on. And Boston got 2 others. Cleveland at that, bottom of the 9th, a 9-9 tie. That Boston team is something special. Tanana looking for that double play ball as Bernhardt settles in. The pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Final, Pittsburgh beats St. Louis at Busch Stadium 2-1. They out-hit the Cardinals 11-7. Only Cardinal run was on Gary Templeton's home run, his second of the season. Candelaria 8-8 beat Vukovic 6-6 before 13,800. Change is waved at and missed. It's 0-2. And Pete Vukovic has done a good job for the Cardinals this year. 6-6, and he's lost some tough ones. Bochte at second base. Mild conversation with the shortstop chalk behind him. Stein off first. No one out. The 0-2 delivery. Inside, a fastball. Tanana paws at the front edge of the rubber as he turns facing center field. Bernhardt locked in position in the batter's box. Widespread stance. Bat down on the end. Tanana looks back at second. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball is high. Didn't break. The Angels lead at 6-1, but the Mariners threaten here in the top of the 5th inning. A leadoff double by Bochte, and Stein worked Tanana for a walk. Angel southpaw has a sign from Downing. Runners at first and second. The 2-2 pitch. James has grounded foul past third. Between Busby, the coach, and the bag. Final from Chicago. Toronto 3, the White Sox 2. 3-6-0 for Toronto. Chicago 2-9-0. The Blue Jays wanted with a home run ball. Rico Carty hit his 12th. And John Mayberry, number 14. 18,643 at Comiskey saw Joe Coleman win it. He's 4-0. Rich Hinton, the loser, 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bernhardt. Right-handed hitting first baseman waiting for Tanana, who finally accepts the sign from Downing. Bochte leads from second. Stein off first, fairly playing deep behind him. Tanana sets. And the pitch. High, ball 3. So Tanana got in front of Stein. 1-2. Walked him. Jumped quickly in front of Bernhardt. 0-2. And now the count goes full. Angels 6. Mariners 1. Tanana wants Bernhardt to hit it. Doesn't want to walk him. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball to right. Bostock is there. Runner Bochte tags. Bostock makes the catch. Bochte coming to third. Here comes the throw. Not in time. Chuck cuts it off, and holding at first is Stein. Well, that's the one thing. They might hit a line drive, might even hit a home run, but the chances are also that 2 times out of 3 they're going to make it out. More likely 3 out of 4. In fact, the team batting average is .250 for both sides. So that means 3 out of 4 times the other guy's going to make it out. You walk him, and then you can't defense that. Tanana made him hit the ball 3-2, and he flied to the right fielder, Bostock. Switch-hitting catcher, Bob Stinson, grounded to short his first time up. In there from the right side, he's a better hitter left-handed, and has been the last several years. This year hitting .295 from the left side, .233 right-handed. Tanana takes too much time. Stinson backs out. Tough player, good competitor. Really out of the old school. He just loves to play. Rugged battler. Pitch inside, ball 1, a fastball. Angels looking for hope from Minnesota. Looking for help from Minnesota tonight. And look hopefully to Oakland. 1-0 Twins after 7 first game. The pitch. Swinging a fly ball to left. Hit pretty well. Rudi has to go back on it near the warning path. He's under it, makes the catch. Tagging and scoring Bochte to throw to second, and back to first goes Stein. It's a 6-2 ball game. Stinson knocks in his 33rd run of the year. Bochte has scored both the Mariner runs. With 2 out, the batter is Larry Milbourne, the leadoff hitter, playing second base tonight. Hitting .338. Limited at bats. He's fouled out and walked. Hitting right-handed against Tanana. Stein a safe lead at first, barely holding him on. The curveball drops in there for a strike. The Angels have won 7 of their last 10. Like to generate a few more wins before the All-Star break. Another curve, another strike. It's 0-2. Now Tanana snapping off a couple of big rainbows to Milbourne as he jumps in front, 2 strikes. Reynolds on deck. The brash young left-hander looks in, gets a sign. The pitch is swung, a line drive to left, but it's right at Rudi. He's got it. The inning's over. Milbourne hangs a rope to left field, but directly to Joe Rudi for the final out. A run on a hit, and a man left. The halfway mark in this one, 4.5 innings in the book. The score, the Angels 6, and the Mariners 2. Now Arnold So the Angels, after this Seattle series and then the 3 days off for the All-Star game, stay right here at home, and that's a quirk in the schedule. Normally you are on the road one side of the break and at home on the other, but the Angels fortunate to stay right here for their midsummer 3 days off, that with the exception of Frank Tanana, their only All-Star representative. Right back home against Toronto, Detroit, and Cleveland. Bobby Grich facing Tom House in the last of the 5th inning. Angels 6, Mariners 2. Little left-hander from USC pumps and the pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Final in the second game at Cincinnati. The Reds 2, the Giants 1. Bonham 9-2 over Jim Barr 4-6. The pitch, high 1-1. So the Giants and the Reds split. The only one who gains in that Western Division race, the Dodgers, by beating Houston, gain a half game on both. 1-1 pitch. Change is in there for a strike. Turned it over. 1-2 the count. 51,163 at Riverfront. 7-6 Giants. 2-1 Reds. That's a tightly packed race in the west of the National League, and those two games reflected. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rich after a high fastball. Now Bobby is 1 for 2. He had singled and sacrificed against Dick Paul. Lyman Bostock, 2-run single in the first inning and hit by a pitch in the third. Hit right in the back of the helmet by Paul. House pumps the pitch, a curveball hit to center field. Bochte drifting back, still going back, and reaches up, makes the one-handed catch in front of the 386 sign at the base of the warning pad. Ron Fairley has popped up and knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly. The Dodgers move to within 2.5 of the Giants, and a half game in front of the Reds, who remain 3 back after tonight's play in the National League. Fairley swings and pops it back of first into foul territory. Bernhardt, along with the right fielder. It's Bernhardt reaching out, can't get it. It's off the tip of his glove. Rattles off the warning path and up into the crowd. Long run for Bernhardt. No play is the call. Trying to surround it where the second baseman Milbourne, right fielder Roberts, and Bernhardt streaking down the warning track from his position at first base, and close but couldn't quite come up with it. Bernhardt, a natural third baseman, got to hit more quickly than most first basemen would. 1 strike to Fairley. Veteran left-hander against the southpaw Tom House, who delivers. Check swing foul. Rolls it to the far end of the Angel dugout. 2 strikes to Fairley. They play him dead to pull. Big hole in left center field. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Angels. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Mariners. House kicks and deals. Swing and a chopper to the mound. House up with it on the third base side of the circle and throws him out by a step. So one ex-Trojan gets another, and Fairley takes off the helmet, wants to throw it as far as he can, then decides, well, what good's that going to do, and flips it off to Bob Clear. The Angels go in order against Tom House in the 5th inning. After 5 at the Big A, it's 6-2 Angels. After 5 at the Big A, it's 6-2 Angels.
Slice of apple pie from your good friend Chevrolet. I'm calling Pizza-Erica the way it is today. A dream car on the outside, a big car where you sit. This is America, New Malibu is it.
As is our way, America. We took a good hard look at where you were heading, then sat down and invented an ideal car to get you there. Chevy's new Malibu is that car. A fresh new slice of apple pie from your good friend Chevrolet. And I'm stretching the point only slightly when I tell you, it looks good enough to eat. Malibu's a new size, quick size, mid-size car that's a real kick to drive. It's a crisp, fat-free car designed for today. Yet when you climb inside, you find even more headroom, legroom, and trunk room than in last year's Malibu. When it comes to value, America comes to Chevrolet. And I think you're going to find in the days and years ahead, a large slice of America is going to be coming to the new Malibu.
A freshly sliced apple pie from Chevy Malibu.
Frank Tanana tuning up with catcher Brian Downing. The totals after 5 innings, the Angels 6-8-0. They've left only one man. Mariners 2 runs for it. No errors have stranded but 2 against Frank Tanana. Final in from Cleveland. The Indians scored in the bottom of the 9th to hand Boston a 10-9 loss, out hitting the Red Sox 16-10. Yastrzemski's homer and 2 others tied it for Boston in the top of the 9th, but the Indians came back to win 10-9. Dan Spillner was the winner in relief 2-0. Bill Campbell lost at 5-5. They had just under 20,000 in Cleveland. But the Red Sox do not lose any ground to 2 of the 3 teams that are closest to them in the Eastern Division fight. The Yankees lost and Baltimore lost. So the standings read Boston leading Milwaukee by 9.5, the Yanks by 10, Baltimore 11.5 back. Craig Reynolds leads off the 6th inning. The pitch by Tanana. Outside, ball 1. Left-handed hitting shortstop has grounded to second and fly to left. Having a big season with the Mariners, 311. That's earned him the All-Star nomination from Billy Martin. Takes a strike, a fastball down the middle. Bobby Bonds has homered for Texas, his 13th of the year, no one on in the 8th inning. But the Tigers have a 12-4 lead in the top of the 9th. Swing and a foul as Reynolds way out in front of a slow curveball. He actually took a little hop in the batter's box as he tried to reset himself. Just didn't get a piece of it. It's 1-2. Reynolds wears a count on his back. Rangy infielder acquired from the Pittsburgh Pirates. They give Reynolds right center field. Miller medium deep in left center. Rudi toward the line and left. The pitch. Swing and a shot up the middle by Chalk into left. They give Reynolds right center field. Miller medium deep in left center. Rudi toward the line and left. The pitch. Swing and a shot up the middle by Chalk into left center field for a base hit. Up with it quickly is Miller, and Reynolds has the 5th Mariner hit. A low line drive just out of the reach of Chalk, who ranged to his glove side. Let's pause for station identification from Anaheim. This is Angels Radio 78.
Hi, this is Roger Carroll. Join me this Sunday at 10:05 for the Big A before Angel Baseball. My guests will be Lyman Bostock, Red Patterson, and our Angel flashback with former Angel player Lee Stanton. This Sunday, 10:05.
Tom Paciorek up, going out. Reynolds at first base, 6th inning. The curveball is grounded foul past 3rd. Angels 6, Mariners 2. Paciorek doubled to right center in the 1st inning and lined out to Bostock, who made the catch going away one-handed. And a backhanded play in the same spot where Paciorek had doubled the first time up. So he's 1 for 2 with a hard out. The pitch, swing and a foul off to the right, high and well back into the crowd, lower deck. 2 strikes to Paciorek. Final in the first game in Oakland, Minnesota 3, the A's 2. 3-6-1 for the Twins, 2-10-0 for the A's. Minnesota scored 2 in the 9th. Oakland 1 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. Fouled again by Paciorek. It remains 2 strikes. Dave Revering hit his 9th home run for Oakland. But not enough. Minnesota wins the first game behind Jeff Zahn, 8-6. Renko, the loser, 3-4. Now the Angels with a chance to gain ground on Oakland and most likely Texas. The Rangers being belted around by Detroit. The pitch, swing and a foul back by Paciorek. A high inside fastball. And we get a final from Arlington. Detroit 12, Texas 7. The Tigers had 23 hits in that game. 12, 23, and 1 for Detroit. 7, 12, and 1 for Texas. They got 2 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th. 0-2 pitch. Just outside. 1-2. The winner was John Hiller. And let's check that. Dave Rozema, the winner, 4-4. Doc Ellis lost it. He was knocked out in the first inning, 7-4. They had 21,069 in Arlington. Home runs, Bonds, and Lowenstein for Texas. Ground ball to short, could be 2. Chalk goes to Grich. Grich back to first base. In time. Double play. Ball wasn't hit all that hard, so Chalk had to hurry his flip to Grich. And Grich then with the overhand toss to Fairley a half step before the arrival of Paciorek. So the Angels have their second double play. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Crowd applauding the Minnesota victory and Oakland in the first game. Wide by Tanana. Here's the pitch to Roberts. Little number out into center field for a base hit. A little inside-out swing. That ball curling out into shallow center field away from Bobby Grich. That double play becomes all the more important in the 6th inning. It's the kind of base hit you'll see the power hitters get now and then. Baylor will come up with a few now and then. Ball taking almost a reverse action from the way you would expect it to. The big hitter getting it out on the end of the bat and just sailing one. Big arc. And lobs it into center field for a hit. Bruce Bochte, a home run and a double, will follow Bob Robertson, who is 0 for 2. Bochte on deck. The pitch. Robertson takes a strike. He's flying fairly deep center and tapped out in front of the plate. Tanana making the Mariners hit the ball. He struck out only 1 and walked 2. As a sign, checks Roberts at first. The pitch. Scenes is swung on and missed. It's 0-2. Angels baseball brought to you by Chevrolet. Want to feel like you just won the World Series? Well, then get behind the wheel of a new Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Winning looks, a winning feel, winning ride. They all add up to a great experience you won't soon forget. It's all waiting for you right now. The new Monte Carlo at your Chevy dealers. Robertson, big right-handed batter. The pitch by Tanana. Inside, a fastball, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Robertson leveling the bat back and forth. Now rests off the right shoulder. Tanana checks the runner. The pitch. Strike 3 called. He got the inside corner with a fastball, and Robertson is angry. He yells at the plate umpire Clark, but that's that fastball that tails back and bites the corner. Inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 left. Middle of the 6th inning in Anaheim. Angels 6, Mariners 2. Ernie Chevron.
I'm on to him, Ernie.
George.
Gaylord Perry. They've wondered for years whether he throws the spitball.
And?
Not spit, Ern. He uses the squirting glove.
Squirting glove.
Yeah.
Listen, George, did you know you should be running your car's air conditioner every week or so to keep the seals from drying out?
The squirting glove, Ern. It's like those trick squirting carnations. Perry straps water into his shirt and it's connected down his arm into the glove.
Your Chevron dealer can check your air conditioning fluid, George.
Good.
And if it's down, he'll get things flowing again with quality Atlas refrigerant.
Perry just pumps his uniform a couple of times and presto, he's throwing you one that'll spray like a wet tire.
George, a lot of our dealers have been to school to learn air conditioning maintenance and service.
It's like trying to hit a soggy apple, Ern. The ball just skids right by your bat.
Get your air conditioning down cold. Your Chevron dealer's a good place to start.
Well, listen, when Perry's running the bases, you never see him slide, do you?
Well?
Of course not. If that bag broke, the infield would be a swamp.
George.
Don Baylor leads off the Angels 6th inning. Halos in front 6-2. And 2 of the 3 teams nearest the Angels have lost. Oakland has been beaten by Minnesota. Detroit has bombed Texas. Kansas City did win 3-1 over Baltimore. Royals trailed the Angels by a game and a half starting tonight. Baylor has ripped a single to left and a hot shot ground out to second base. 1 for 2. They give him the center of the diamond. The pitch by House. Change is ripped to third. 1 hop. Glove by Stein moving to his right. The throw in time for the out. Now Baylor has hit the ball hard 3 times. He's blistered it each time up, but has only 1 for 3 to show. Joe Rudi a single and a fly to left. Ron Jackson moves into the on-deck circle. House now has retired 5 in a row since relieving starter Dick Bull. Last of the 6th inning, bases empty. Rudi taking his time before settling in. Outfield plays him to pull and deep with 2 out. Pitch by House. High with a fastball. 2 home runs in the game tonight. Bruce Bochte with a long home run to center field, his 6th of the year, back in the 2nd. And Brian Downing hit a 2-run shot into the left field seats, his 4th of the year. That came in the 4th inning. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. House turned that ball over. House not overpowering. He'll just spot the fastball. He uses a mixture of curves, and to the right-handed hitters will throw that screwgy. Only 5'10". He kicks and deals. Swing and a foul. That one goes upstairs to the right. Off the facing of the third deck and headed around in the seats. Several fans falling over the seats to try to get to that one. Played a little ping pong with that one before it came to rest. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Rudi. The windup by House, the pitch. Blowing inside, 2-2. The Mariners playing without center fielder Rupert Jones and an emergency appendectomy. Middle of June while the Seattle club was in Boston. He'll be out for another couple of weeks at least. Bochte playing center field in his absence. Too much time taken by House. Rudi backs out. Now Rudi settles in that closed stance. Up on the handle of the bat. The swing into the windup, the pitch. Curveball ripped to third, backhanded by Stein on the line. He throws and gets him. Baylor and Rudi hit shots to third, but Stein positioned well to get them both. Ron Jackson has grounded twice to short, once into a double play. The outfield plays him to pull. Milbourne, the second baseman, about 15 feet from the bag on the edge of the grass. The windup, the pitch. High, a fastball. Now you get a fastball from House, it usually will be out of the strike zone. He's ready. The pitch. Scrooge down low, 2-0. House with both hands, they're pushing some object down toward his feet, indicating that Clark was at low. Clark answers yes. 2-0 pitch. Curveball bends across the plate, but about shoulder high, and it's 3-0. Jackson turns, looks hopefully to third to see if he might be swinging 3-0. With a 6-2 lead, the answer could well be yes from McNamara. Pitch by House. Jackson swings and hits it to deep right field. Back goes Roberts to the wall and makes the catch in front of the 370 sign. Now, there's testimony to the fact that you let them hit the ball, they can hit it awfully hard, but sometimes doesn't hurt you a bit. 2 ground ball shots to third and a long out to right field, and it's a 1-2-3 inning in the books for Tom House. After 6 in Anaheim, the score Angels 6, Seattle 2.
Whenever it's time for the Angels in baseball, and do you say, whenever the ump tells the Angels to play ball, after a double play, a pitch that saves the day, and he turns the right one to say, when do you say, Budweiser, that's the big for any time at home. After a long home run, after the game is won, the king of news is waiting for your call. When you say Budweiser, when you say hey, Angels, when you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
You said it all.
After
6 innings of play. 6-8-0, the Angel totals. Mariners have 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. As the game has progressed, Al Clark's makeshift uniform, the white shirt, that's all out of the pants, and the shin guards under the usher's pants. And of course, you have to use extra large pants to get those shin guards, which means they're all more baggy. And he looks like his legs, a couple of big rolls of walnuts under there. Angel baseball cap on and his little canvas bag off his waist. He can go out and sell jewelry down in Hollywood and Vine tomorrow. Let's go to the 7th inning. It's 6-2 Angels. Here's Big D. All right, Dick. Bruce Bochte will lead it off. He'll be followed by Stein, then Bernhardt. Tanana rocks into motion, and the left-hander's first pitch is hit off the hands, foul, back out of play. And the count is 0-1. Now Cincinnati winning that second game 2-1. Bonham the winner 9-2. Barr the loser 4-6. They had 51,163 in Cincinnati. The Giants won the opener 7-6. So the Dodgers, who won, they pick up a half a game on the Giants. 0-1 the count. Tanana wides, and here's the 1-strike pitch. Bochte runs up as if the bunt, takes a curveball low and away, and the count 1-1. Now in the National League West, the Dodgers are now 2.5 out. Cincinnati 3. 1 ball, 1 strike. Atlanta jumped all over San Diego, 11-3. Here's the 1-1 pitch, curveball in and over, and the count is 1-2. Office and Horner over in that ball game. Here's the 1-2 pitch, fly ball left field. Rudi coming to the line, he's there, makes the catch, out number 1. That'll bring on Bill Stein. He's 1 for 1. He singled and walked. Angel Baseball is brought to you by Chevron USA, and your Chevron dealer would just like to remind you that a big part of his job is to pay attention to your car, and to you. That's just the Chevron way. Montreal over Philadelphia, 7-4. Tanana's first pitch to Stein, high, ball 1. Montreal, 7 runs, 15 hits, no errors. The Phillies, 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Ball flying around the vet tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch, foul right side. Home runs in that game, Cromartie, Valentine, Carter, Luzinski, and Boa. Well, there's been some base hits on this Friday night around the major leagues. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 6-2 Angels in the Seattle 7th. Tanana comes back, curveball, ripped past Jackson, left field, base hit. And the Mariners pick up their 7th hit of the night. And they'll bring on Juan Bernhardt, the first baseman. Bernhardt is hit into a double play and fly to right. Bernhardt going back to get another bat. Now moving back up to the batter's box. Chicago over New York, 9-7. 9 runs, 15 hits for the Cubs in an error. New York, 7 runs, 8 hits. McLaughlin over Siebert. Bruce Sutter had his 13th save of the year. There's a high pop right side. Ron Fairley looks at the bag, steps on it, crosses over in foul territory and makes the catch. There's 2 gone. That'll bring up the catcher, Bob Stinson. Cox and Montanez homered in that Chicago-New York game. The Cubbies, 9-7 over the Mets. Here's Stinson. He's bounced to short and had a sacrifice fly. Has now 33 RBIs this year. Bob, a switch hitter, hitting from the right side, takes a curveball in and over. And the count is 0-1. Tanana again ready, and the one-strike pitch, a drive foul. Left side, down in the seats, Joe Rudi going over, but that'll be back about 7-8 rows. Now the count 0-2. Pittsburgh 2-1 over St. Louis. 2 runs, 11 hits for the Pirates. A run on 7 hits for St. Louis. Candelaria, the winner, 8-8. Vukovic, the loser, 6-6. Templeton homered for St. Louis to give them their only run. Stein away from first, fairly holding. Tanana at the belt, 2-strike pitch, just inside and low, and the count 1-2. Frank again sets. Here's the 1-2 pitch, curveball. It's foul outside at third. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. And the runner at first, Bill Stein, will go back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Frank reading signs from Brian Downing, his catcher, sets at the belt. Here's the 1-2 pitch. You drive it deep left field. Rudi going back to the wall. This ball is gone. Bobby Stinson, it's his 7th home run of the year, and all of a sudden, the Seattle Mariners have drawn to within 2. Stinson with 2 RBIs with that swing now has 3, and the bell rings in the Angel bullpen. The Angels now 6, and Seattle 4. Stinson just missed his first home, second time at bat, on a sacrifice fly. There's a curveball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Right-hander Dyer Miller throwing out in the Angel bullpen. The infield, outfield, straight away. Tanana winds, and the 1-strike pitch fouled off of the mask of Downing. And the count is 0-2. For Stinson, that's his 7th home run, as we mentioned, all coming right-handed. Bob, a switch hitter. To the count. Now the Mariners, they will battle you. And the 2-strike pitch is high. That's ball 1. 1-2. You can't take them lightly, and we've said here at the very offset that they have the winning record in the edge here at the Big A in Anaheim. 1-2 pitch curveball down low, 2-2 the count. They correct that now for Stinson. That is his first home run. Right-handed, the rest coming left-handed. As Tanana delivers a 2-2 pitch inside, ball 3. Now Tanana having more velocity tonight, but not having the control. And that's got him in a little trouble. The Mariners scoring 2 times here in the 7th. Angels lead at 6-4, so what turned out to be a little kind of a, there's a ground ball hit to Jackson off his glove. He picks it up and he can't make a play. That ball hit hard. And we'll see how they call it. That's an error. Now Jackson draws an error, and here comes Jim Fregosi. And the hitter will be Craig Reynolds. Now Miller throwing in the bullpen. Downing to the mound, Fairley to the mound. Fregosi giving a slap to Tanana, then turns around and trots back to the Angel dugout. And In the meantime, right-hander Dyer Miller continues to throw in the Angel bullpen. There's 2 away. Reynolds tonight has bounced to second, fly to left, and singled. Now he's 1 for 3, starting tonight at 3:11. Tanana to the stretch. Checks Milbourne. The first pitch, a curveball, waved at and missed, and the count is 0-1. Jackson guarding the line at third, fairly holding Milbourne at first. The infield straight away, the outfield. They play Reynolds a hit to the opposite field as Tanana delivers a bunt out in front of the plate. Downing out in a hurry. A good play to throw him out. Good play by Brian Downing. He was out of there just as that ball was fairly bunted. And he throws Reynolds out. Seattle gone. 2 runs on 2 hits in here, and they lead 1. And after 6.5, the Angels 6, the Mariners 4.
Hey, listen to that crowd, Professor. Crowds always have a great time. Everywhere but at the airport. I know they don't there. You know, the last time I flew to Seattle, I think the entire population of L.A. was circling, looking for a parking place. Must have reminded you of your playing days, watching McCovey circle the bases. That'll be enough for that now. Hey, Don, you should have taken the easy way. Once you start circling, you just keep right on a circle. Well, sometimes, but not now. We've got an easy way. It's Continental to Seattle from Hollywood, Burbank, or Ontario airports. That way you miss the crowds and the parking hassles at L.A. International. I suppose I have to get up like at 3 a.m. in the morning and get on a prop job. No way, big guy. Continental flies only great, big, beautiful 727s to Portland and Seattle. And they've got 3 flights a day, leaving from Ontario and Hollywood, Burbank. Well, the next time that I'm headed for Portland or Seattle, maybe I'll do it from one of L.A.'s neighbor airports on Continental, of course. Just call Continental or call your travel agent. Tell them you want to take the easy way out. And you know, I was getting so good at circling.
In the Angels' 7th inning, they'll go to Chalk, then Downing and Miller in that order. Angels lead at 6-4, but the Mariners are scratching at the door. Chalk has struck out, singled, and scored in the 4th inning. House nods yes, and the left-hander winds. The first pitch to Chalk swung on weakly and missed, and the count is 0-1. 0-1 the count. Brian Downing on deck. Stein up on the grass at third. As House winds, and the next pitch is high, ball 1. 1-1. The outfield, they play Chalk about straight away. Bochte slightly in left center. The next pitch by House is outside. And the count goes to 2-1. Dyer Miller continues to throw in the Angel bullpen. And that might be all for Frank Tanana. Here's the next pitch by House, a breaking pitch in and over the count, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. House winds, and the 2-2 pitch chucks into line drive right back up the middle, base hit. That went right over the left shoulder of House. Now that is the first hit that House has allowed as he came on and retired 7 in a row. Here's Brian Downing, who homered his last time at bat. The paid attendance tonight, 20,119, as the message board salutes John Robinson, the head football coach at the University of Southern California, out with us tonight. They go to first and Chalk back in time. side. And the left-hander sets. Downing on a bunt, does so out in front of the mound. House has it, turns, goes to first base in time. Jock moving to second base. Now the sacrifice works 1-4. Jim Fregosi trying to squeeze out another run. At one time had a fairly easy ball game going, leading 6-1, but the Mariners have scored a run in the fifth, 2 now in the seventh, and it's 6-4. And it's no more a laughing matter. Here's Rick Miller. He is 2 for 3 tonight. He singled and scored in the first. He doubled and scored in the third, and he bounced back to the pitcher in the fourth. House making a good play on him. Now left-hander to left-hander. House to Miller as Chalk leads the way at second base. Reynolds trying to keep him close. House sets, and the pitch to Miller. Curveball hit to the second baseman, Milbourne. He goes on to the first baseman, Bernhardt, and Chalk goes to third. There's 2 gone, and Bobby Grich will come on. And we pause for station identification. This is Angel Radio 78.
Hi there, baseball fans. This is Gary Owens, your Supreme High Nurgle, reminding you that we'll have great music, sports, news, and fun every afternoon on my show from 3 until 6.
Bobby Grich stands in. Chalk at third as right-hander Jim Todd throws in the Seattle bullpen. The pitch to Grich taken high, ball 1. One ball and no strike. House winds. Here's the 1-0 pitch. A bounce in the dirt. It gets away from Stinson. Here comes Chuck to the plate. It's thrown out in time. Dave Chuck scores on the wild pitch, and the Angels lead it 7-4.
Chalk demonstrating a real lesson in base running for the youngsters. When you're at third base, it doesn't do any good to run halfway to home, and then when the pitch is made, be running back to third base. He took a good lead, was leaning forward. As soon as he saw the ball get away, he had a running start. He was leaning in that direction anyway and scored easily.
And Stinson got on the ball as fast as he could, but there was no play at the plate. Dave Chalk crossing ahead of the throw. Now, there's a big run for the Angels. They now have a 3-run lead, 7-4. The 2-0 pitch to Grich is foul away, and the count is 2-1. Bobby, a good swing at a breaking curveball. It was up just a little bit. Now, that is so true. You see so many base runners, they'll get down the line, and then all of a sudden, as soon as the pitch is made, and the catcher receives the ball, they'll be starting back to third. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Grich fouls it back in the count 2-2. Instead of taking a little less lead and moving down the line towards the plate, which is the proper way to go. That's just what Dave Chalk did. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. The run in, 7-4 Angels, last of the 7th. Lyman Bostock on deck. House winds. Here's the 2-2 pitch, inside, ball 3. Trying to nip on that inside corner. Three and 2 the count. House doesn't like the feel of that baseball. Gets a new one out of the sack of home plate umpire Al Clark. Doesn't like that one, and he'll reach right back in that carpenter's bag and pull out another one.
Gotta watch it. He might pull out a couple of nails, a bolt, a screw.
He might have come out with anything out of that thing. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now House ready to go. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Grich sends a drive left field, hits it well, but right at Paciorek. Now the Angels gone in the 7th, but they pick up a run on a hit. No errors, they leave nobody, and after 7, it's the Angels 7, the Mariners 4.
The sporty Chevy Monza.
When you're driving down the road and you're moving through a curve and your car's looking good, it's showing like a nerve. It's a Monza, a Chevrolet.
Piano would be priced so low, only $3,759. That's the manufacturer's suggested retail price, including dealer preparation and California emissions, for the Monza 2+2 hatchback coupe. Tax, license, destination charges, and available equipment extra. Chevy Monza, $3,759. A very stylish little number.
Children lots ahead, standing up above the herd, and your car's moving through the slot, spreading the word. It's a Monza by Chevrolet.
The new Chevy Monza, $3,759. For a car so sporty and so well equipped, it's priced surprisingly low. See your local Chevrolet dealer now.
From Anaheim Stadium, I'm Don Drysdale, along with Dick Enberg and Dick Nelson. Happy you've joined us tonight. This is the first of 4 with the Seattle Mariners prior to the All-Star break. The Angels 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Mariners 4 runs, 8 hits, and no errors as right-hander Dyer Miller comes on in place of Frank Tanana. On the message board, birthday greetings. It says to one of the men in blue who has added a stripe of red and some white. Umpire Bill Kunkel at first base, and we pass along our best from the Angel broadcast booth to Bill. As we mentioned before, the different uniforms of the umpires tonight, their uniforms have not reached Anaheim Stadium prior to game time, so they've gone to the ushers' pants, the blue with a red stripe, white shirts, 2 wearing the Mariners hats, Kunkel at first and Cooney at third, 2 wearing the Angel hats, that is Clark behind the plate and Deegan at second base. And now we go to the 8th. Back for the play. Here's Dick.
All right, Don. Dyer Miller in relief of Frank Tanana. The right-hander pumps the pitch to Paciorek, a slider inside ball 1. Miller has been outstanding in the last month or so and has the best ERA on the Angel staff, 1.79. He's won 3 and lost none. Rocks back, the pitch. Swing on a ground ball to short. 2 hops to Chalk. He has it, straightens, and throws him out by a step. Fairly almost left first base too soon, and Kunkel took a long look before he motioned out. Fun is now free at Busch Bird Sanctuary. Free admission, free bird shows, free brewery tour. Take the family. Exit the San Diego Freeway at Roscoe. Leon Roberts, a single and 3 at-bats. The pitch. Fastball for a strike. Cut the plate in half at the knees. The windup, and here comes the pitch by Miller. Down low, 1-1. The outfield, a step toward left for Roberts. Tall right-handed hitter from the University of Michigan. The pitch, swinging the ground ball, pulled to third. Fair ball! Over the bag and down into the left field corner. Rudi digs it out, and Roberts goes into second with a stand-up double. Now Roberts with good direction on that shot. And back come the Mariners, trailing 7-4. Roberts at second base. 1 out, and Bob Robertson, the batter. He's flied out, grounded out, and struck out. Now the hit totals are even, 9 aside. Mariners have a couple of home runs. Fortunately for the Angels, one was a solo, the other with a man on. Tanana scattering the hits well enough to allow the 4 runs, 8 hits through 7 innings. Angels lead 7-4. Off second is Roberts. The pitch by Miller. High, a fastball to Robertson. Bruce Bochte is on deck. And the feeling about this one all the way after the Angels got a 6-1 lead. And the Mariners scored in the 5th. That it's one of those games you best be careful can get away from you. Mariners come fighting back from 6-1 to 6-4, now 7-4. The pitch, blown outside, ball 2. Now the tying run is in the on-deck circle at the moment. Robertson checking with his third base coach Busby to see if he's swinging 2-0. Veteran Miller stares back at second, and here's the pitch. High, ball 3. Oh, a walk would bring that tying run to the plate. Bruce Bochte. This game and the second game at Oakland, the only contest still underway. All the rest of the action in the major leagues on this Friday night final. We'll have all the scores, details for you on Angel Report. Miller gets that low target from Downing. 3-0 pitch. Strike call. Fastball. Robertson might be swinging now, 3-1. 1-out double by Roberts. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Roberts has a big lead at second. No one bothering him. Miller ready. The 3-1 pitch. Low, ball 4. A 2-on. 1 out, and the tying run comes to the plate. Bruce Bochte. He homered over the center field fence against Frank Tanana in the 2nd inning. Doubled and scored in the 5th. And fly to left in the 7th inning. Grich comes in to say something to Dyer Miller, and Dave LaRoche peels off his warm-up jacket and will begin warming up in the left field bullpen. Bochte from Santa Clara University, where he was also fine defensive forward in basketball. From Arcadia, California. The pitch. Fastball inside, ball 1. Miller slams the ball in the pocket of his glove, walks back to the rubber. Working from the third base edge of the rubber. Roberts at second, Robertson at first base for the Mariners. 1 out here in the 8th. Here comes the pitch. Low and inside, ball 2, and a good stop by Downing. 2-0 to Bochte. Here comes Jim Fregosi out to say something to Dyer Miller. After Miller got Paciorek to ground out, a double by Roberts as he hit one right over the bag at third. The walk to Robertson on the 3-1 pitch, and now it's 2-0 to Bochte. A reminder that Angel ticket offices at the Anaheim Stadium are open daily Monday through Saturday, 9 until 5:30 when the team is on the road, every day when the team's at home. Forget about ticket lines. Buy your tickets early. I know a lot of folks took that advice today. They had 3 windows open and lots of fans queued up getting their seats for upcoming Angel action. Understand games, Red Sox and the Yankees in August. Those seats are hot. 2-0. Bochte up there with 1 swing could tie the game. Runners off first and second. Miller sets, looks back at second. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and a foul back, and Bochte took a rip. 2-1. With a 7-4 lead, Ron Jackson hugging the line deep at third, and fairly the same at first base. That opens up some hitting holes for Bochte. The action pitch, 2-1. Here it comes. Check swing inside, a slider, 3-1. Now Bochte with a good eye. Yeah, he's a tough man to strike out. He struck out only 29 times and well over 300 bats this year. A ratio of better than 1 out of 10. He was swinging 2-0, so Miller knows he'll be gunning after this one if he likes it. 3-1 pitch. Outside, and the bases are loaded. Now Miller, who has been in a string of incredibly fine relief pitching, and even the best will run into a trouble spot, and Miller has gone a long time since he's not had a good outing, and he's got the bases loaded now. A full boat. Mariners at first. Bochte at second, Robertson at third, Roberts. So the tying run is at first base with 1 out. Dave Chalk comes in to say something to Dyer Miller. The batter is Bill Stein. He singled twice and walked. He's a perfect 2 for 2 tonight. Stein will hit one for you occasionally. He has only 2 home runs this year, but he leads the club in doubles with 17. A rock back by Miller. The pitch. High and inside, ball 1. Way out of the strike zone. Stein last year had his best home run season in the big leagues. He had 13. Also had 26 doubles. Right-handed batter. Trying to drive the ball somewhere. The Angels looking for 2. The pitch. Slider. Low. Ball 2. And that's going to be all for Dyer Miller. Jim Fregosi doesn't like what he's saying, and he's going to go to the bullpen, and Dave LaRoche. Now Miller, after giving up the double to Roberts, suddenly could not throw strikes. threw only 1 strike to Robertson, walked him, threw 1 strike to Bochte, walked him, and he falls behind Stein 2-0. And what Fregosi was concerned about is that Miller might groove one and Stein would hit it out. So LaRoche counts in from the bullpen. Miller, unsuccessful relief appearance, but he's been so doggone good of late that he gets a nice hand anyway as he walks on to the third base dugout. So with a break in the action, let's call in Big D.
All right, Dick, and there's 2 major events coming your way during the Angel Career homestand. And it's Saturday, July 15th. It'll be the Hollywood Star Night. The Stars versus the Sports Writers and the Sportscasters team. And many of your favorites in the movie and television land will be here. Joe Campanella, Chuck Connors, Greg Morris, Wes Parker, Ken McCord, Michael Dante, Norman Alden, Harvey Korman, and many, many more. And you can see them next Saturday before a night game with the Detroit Tigers. Also in the Tiger Series on Monday, July 17th, it's your next family night. Box seats at half price, $2.25 for club, and field boxes, $2 for the terrace boxes. That again is Monday night, July 17th, your next family night. Nick?
All right, Donald, Dave LaRoche inherits the count 2-0 with the bases loaded. And the Mariners trailing by 3, 7-4. Infield would like to scrape up a double play chance. They have 2 tonight. Frank Tanana, an interested observer now, as LaRoche tries to get the 2 outs here in this 8th inning. Juan Bernhardt is on deck. So it's the left-hander LaRoche against the right-handed hitting Bill Stein. LaRoche sets. The pitch. Way outside, ball 3. Wasn't close with that one. So LaRoche picks up the penalty of Miller of having to pitch behind 2-0. And now 3-0. LaRoche gets a sign, the 3-0 pitch. Ball 4. He walks in a run at 7-5. That walk will be charged to Dyer Miller. And, of course, the run as well. And now the tying run is in scoring position with 1 out. The go-ahead scores at first base. And in this past week, we've seen the base on balls be the key to 2 games in Kansas City, the Nolan Ryan loss, and then the victory by the Angels last night when Marty Patton walked 3 in the first inning and Rudy hit the grand slam. Now a gift run for the Mariners. Still have the bases loaded. LaRoche reads Downing. Runners lead. The wind, the pitch to Bernhardt. High, ball 1. Oh, it's incredible. They're not coming close to throwing strikes. Innings like this will force the young skipper Fregosi to the hair dye. Robertson at third. Bochte the tying run at second. Stein at first with an RBI on the bases loaded walk. The wind and the 1-0 pitch to Juan Bernhardt. Strike. Little Bronx cheer from the nervous Anaheim faithful. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases loaded. Angels 7, Mariners 5. LaRoche into the windup, kicks and deals. Strike 2 on the outside corner. Yeah, one thing for certain, the wildness of the relief pitching has brought some drama back into this 8th inning. Runners lead. LaRoche checks third before he swings into the windup. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. LaRoche strikes out Bernhardt. 2 away. And here comes Bob Stinson, the man who hit a 2-run homer his last time up. It was Stinson's first home run of the year, batting right-handed. His other 6 from the left side. He's a tough out. Batting .282, 7 home runs, and with 3 RBIs tonight, he has 35. Bases loaded, 2 out, 7-5 Angels. LaRoche kicks and deals. Swing and a looper back of first, foul territory, out of play into the second row. Robertson, Bochte, and Stein return to their respective bases, all ready to run on anything. On deck, the leadoff man, Larry Milbourne. Stinson, switch-hitting catcher, acquired from the Kansas City Royals. Deep in the box, squared away stance. LaRoche has his sign. Fans now rooting for the Mariners. They're rooting for LaRoche to get out of this jam. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a looper on the infield. Foul territory. Over comes Downing, and he makes the catch as he tumbles into the dugout. Did he hang on? Yes, he did. The inning's over on a great play by Downing. Now Brian Downing, who plays behind the plate the way you'd find a shortstop aggressively covering ground on the left side of the infield. The ball was not hit very high and was falling at the front step of the Mariner dugout. Downing streaking over, made the catch on the run at the top step, tumbled down into the first base dugout, then quickly came back out to show Bill Kunkel he had the ball, and the inning is over. 1 run, 1 hit, 3 left. Bottom of the 8th we go, 7-5 Angels.
Hello, this is Ernie. You know, Chevron dealers feel that a soft sell is a good way to tell you about a good tire sale. We're sure that a soft sell will get our story of good value and quality through loud and clear without shouting. I'm glad to be able to save you money on the Atlas Pacesetter tire, known for strength, traction, and cool running mile after mile. Stop in and see your participating Chevron dealer today.
You have just heard a soft sell on a tough tire by a participating Chevron dealer. Buy one Atlas Pacesetter and get another one at half price.
Ernie Chevron.
Ernie, I just heard you on the radio.
You did?
Great job. I'm proud to know you.
Well, thank you, George.
First pitch to Lyman Bostock is a curveball strike. 0-1, bottom of the 8th inning. Angels 7, Mariners 5.
Dick, it's amazing because we were talking about that very same play last night on the airplane leaving from Kansas City. Jim Fregosi, Johnny McNamara, myself, and Brian Downing.
Pitch is swung on, a high fly ball to right center. Bochte has plenty of room, drifting back, makes the catch, and fairly deep right center field, 1 away. Bostock is 1 for 3 in the game.
But that rule has changed over the years. You could go over to the railing or go to the edge of the dugout. If you went in, there was no catch. They've changed that now. You can go into that dugout and make the catch, but you are in no man's land. You don't require any help. You get help from your own teammate if you go into your dugout, but going into the opposition's dugout, why, you are at their discretion, really.
Fairly swings and rips it. A one-hopper to the first baseman. And taking it on to the bag is Bernhardt for the second out. As the Angels continue to hit house hard, but have very little to show for it. So in other words, part of the defense, in this case Seattle, the catcher comes into your dugout. If you accidentally bump into him and knock the ball free, that's just the catcher's tough luck.
That's exactly right. Or you can be up there trying to catch him and think like you're going to catch him, but you might be trying to catch that glove hand.
Baylor takes a strike on the outside corner, a fastball. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Base is empty, 2 out. Angels 7, Seattle 5. Dave LaRoche pitching out of big trouble in the top half of the inning. Tom House swings into the windup. The pitch. Curve is lined. Watch out. A foul ball. A wicked shot into the second row of box seats down beyond the Angel dugout. Baylor with concern staring down into the spot where that ball disappeared. That was a vicious line drive. Hopefully no one seriously hurt. Ushers down there attending to the fan have been in the way of that line drive. Baylor backs out of the batter's box and looks down there again. $20,119 paid tonight, $22,000 plus in the house with some junior Angels. The 0-2 pitch. Just a little low, and House bounces around on the mound. He thought he had strike 3. Al Clark started up with the right hand and said, nope, can't call you out on that one. Baylor has hit the ball very hard 3 times, 2 hard ground ball outs and a single. Stinson saying something to Clark and now gets down in the crouch. House, a little left-hander. delivers. Swing and a high fly ball to deep left center field. Back goes Bochte to the wall. Baylor will touch him all. Don Baylor has hit his 20th home run of the year. He's in second place in the American League in home runs. The Angels now lead at 8-5. So very nearly called out on strikes the pitch before. He got a screwball over the plate and pulled it over the 370 sign. There's a trash receptacle beyond the fence, and that one cleared that as well, so it was well over 400 feet. Baylor didn't hit his 20th home run last year until September on his way to 25. Swing by Rudi and the foul ball past third. Now the Angels get the run back on one swing from Baylor. Angels baseball brought to you by Continental Airlines. Continental has a pineapple split vacation for every taste, starting as low as $333 for 8 days, 7 nights in Waikiki. More information, call your travel agent or call Continental. The windup and the 0-1 pitch to Rudi. Swinging a ground ball off the glove of House, out by second, into center field for a base hit. Rudi has his second single of the night, as he skips one high enough that it was over the reach of House and out into center field. Here comes Wes Stock, the pitching coach for the Mariners, on his way to the mound. And the Seattle club going to make a pitching change with 2 out here in the 8th inning. Now House working effectively. The only run he had allowed since coming in the 4th inning was the run on the wild pitch in the 7th inning, but the home run and a single. And Darrell Johnson going to make the change now with 2 out in the 8th inning. So with a break in the action, let's call in the big right-hander.
All right, Dick, and a reminder that 4 more family nights are coming your way at Anaheim Stadium, and these are bargains which will be mighty tough to beat. Remember, all box seats are half price. Now check these dates and these opponents. Monday, July 17th, the Detroit Tigers. Monday, July 31st, the Amazing A's from Oakland. On Tuesday, that's a Tuesday date now, August 15th, the red-hot Boston Red Sox. And on Monday, again, September 4th, the Texas Rangers, of course, right in the thick of the pennant race. And take a tip. Shop early for family nights. All box seats at half price. Club and field level, they're $2.25. The terrace boxes are $2. Right-hander Jim Todd comes on as we run down the scoreboard for you. Minnesota defeated Oakland in the first of 2, 3-2. No score after 3 in the second game. Kansas City 3-1 over Baltimore. Detroit 12-7 over Texas, pounding out 23 hits. It was Toronto 3-2 over Chicago. Cleveland 10-9 over Boston. In the National League, check that one more American League score. Milwaukee shut out New York by a score of 6-0. The Dodgers defeated Houston 7-4. The Giants and Reds split. The Giants the first game 7-6. The Reds the second game 2-1. Montreal 7-4 over Philadelphia. Atlanta 11-3 over San Diego. Chicago 9-7 over New York. And the Pittsburgh Pirates defeated the St. Louis Cardinals by a score of 2-1.
Thank you. You do good work. You got to think about this seriously as a profession. Hey, good luck, by the way, in case we don't have a chance to say it publicly. I know we speak for a lot of Angel fans. Look forward to hearing you on Tuesday night, the national coverage of the All-Star game. That lend a lot of quality to that telecast. That'll be your first as an announcer after many years as a player.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. I have a fan who, well, we'll talk about that in a second.
First pitch is fouled off by Jackson.
Fan that kind of was just nicked a little bit by that line drive of Baylor making his way back up with the ushers and the paramedics here at Anaheim Stadium. But he's on his feet. He's just walking out. It appears that it was a glancing blow and getting a round of applause from the fans down that left field side.
At first base, Rudi, the pitch to Jackson is fouled out of play again off first. Stinson hustling back, but it's into this crowd about 10 rows. And when that fan walked up the aisle, there was one Angel that stepped out of the dugout and looked over the roof, and that was Don Baylor. And even in the involvement of his profession, this ball game, and just wanting to win it and keep the team in first place. You knew when Baylor hit it in there, he was so concerned that it might have hurt someone seriously, and I know he was relieved. And from long distance, Baylor was saying, "I'm sorry, it's part of the game, but I'm sorry. I hope you're okay." It was a nice touch by the Angel designated hitter. 2-strike pitch, looped, back foul, and just out of the reach of the diving Juan Bernhardt. There are times like Al Clark was over to make sure that it was a legal catch. When you see him running, he looks like some fan has run out onto the field. He was chugging.
He looks like he just got out of John Robinson's camp at USC, going through the tires, running with those.
And he's a ninth string guard. Got the bad uni. He doesn't wear his uniform well tonight. We're talking, in case you join us late, of the umpires who are without their own gear and wearing Usher's outfits tonight here at the Big A. 2 strikes on Jackson. The Angels lead 8-5. Rudi at first, 2 outs in the 8th. Todd delivers way outside. Rudy's going. Throw to second base. Gets away into center field. There's Rudi on his way to third, and he's in safely. The throw was there. It was a good throw by Stinson, but in covering the play, Milbourne just didn't catch the ball. It's a stolen base at second, and it would be terribly unjust, and it is an unjust error for Stinson. The throw was right there. I don't know how you can give him an error. Rudi has his second steal.
Actually, the second baseman, Milbourne, he just never made the catch of the ball, and that's kind of a tough error right there for Bobby Stinson. There they go. Now they got it right. They change it to the second baseman, Milbourne.
So Rudy's at third with a surprise steal. 8-5 Angels. Pitch to Jackson. Ground ball swept to third. A tough play for Stein right on the bag. His throw, not in time. The run scored. Base hit for the hustling Ron Jackson. He chopped one right at the bag. Stein playing deep with 2 outs, 2 strikes. Caught the ball at the bag, had to hurry his throw. It was high. Pulled Bernhardt off the bag, but Jackson had it beaten anyway. An infield hit, and Jackson drives in his 33rd run of the year. So the surprise element, Rudi stealing, and Milbourne unable to handle the throw at second base, getting Rudi to third, gets the Angels a big run. It's 9-5. First hit for Jackson. Everyone in the lineup tonight with a hit except Fairley. 12 hit total. And Fairley hit it hard a couple of times. There's a strike to Dave Chalk, who is 2 for 3. He scored 2 runs and knocked in 1. Jackson has his lead. The 0-1 pitch by Todd, outside with a slider. The run is charged to House, so he goes 4 1/3 innings, allows 3 runs. At the moment, 2 earned. 3 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. Bernhardt holding on Jackson. Todd sets. 1-1 pitch. Outside. 2-1. Angels 9. Mariners 5. As the Angels come back with a home run by Baylor. Rudi single, a steal, an error, and an infield hit by Jackson. Set by Todd, the pitch. Foul back by Chalk. And the count is 2-2. Chalk the hitter, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jackson at first, Bernhardt holding him tight. Chalk a couple of sharp singles back through the middle his last 2 times up. There goes Jackson. The pitch is outside. Stinson's throw is in time. The tag made by Reynolds, the shortstop. Now the Angels continuing to run despite a 4-run lead in the 8th inning. And Jackson raced 2-6. The Angels settled for 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and no one left. One of the oddities of the game tonight, the Angels have scored 9 runs, and yet they've left only 1 man on base in the entire game. After 8, 9-5 Angels. You know, most baseball managers are worriers. They worry when they lose, and when they're on a hot winning streak, they still worry. That's when they worry about the team letting up, getting complacent, forgetting the fundamentals. They know you have to care enough to keep on winning. You know, the brewers of Budweiser think that's worth caring about, too. As popular as Bud is, they still don't let up on the fundamentals. No substitutes for the choicest hops and rice and best barley malt. No shortcuts in Bud's long brewing process either, including the extra costly step of beechwood aging. It's what gives Budweiser its one-of-a-kind, easy taste that's so good anytime's the right time to say it. Especially right in the middle of a good old baseball game, and that means right now. So go get one, because when you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Dave LaRoche will try to get the final 3 outs. It would be a save for LaRoche if he accomplishes that fact. It would give him 12 for the year to tie him for the American League lead. Larry Milbourne is 0 for 3 tonight. He walked in the third and was picked off by Tanana. Pitched by LaRoche, down low, ball 1. The Angel left-hander with 11 saves and 6 wins, so he's figured in 17 Angel victories. Jim Fregosi thought he should have made the All-Star team. Pitch is swung on and lifted to left field. High but shallow. Out goes Chalk. Rudi gives ground, and Chalk makes the catch. Milbourne, the hot hitter for the Mariners, is 0 for 4 tonight. Craig Reynolds, a single in 4 at-bats, hitting .311 at the start. The latest report from Oakland in the second game, Minnesota and the A's scoreless in the 5th inning. Minnesota won the opener 3-2 as Zahn beat Rinko. LaRoche has his sign, left-hander against left-hander. The pitch. Over but low, ball 1. On deck is Tom Paciorek. Angels with a victory, a chance to gain some ground on their competitors in the American League West. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball inside, 2-0. Kansas City, a game and a half back of the Angels. The Royals have beaten Baltimore, so they'll stay 1.5. But if the Angels should win, they'll gain at least a half game on Oakland, and conceivably a game and a half, and a game on Texas. Rangers lost tonight. There's a strike, 2-1. The outfield, medium deep, and well around toward left. Right field corner wide open for Reynolds. If he pulls the ball, he's got a double, maybe a triple. The 2-1 delivery. Swing and a drive to center field, playing just right. Miller back a few steps and squeezes it for the out. Now the Angels defense Reynolds perfectly, hit the ball sharply, went right to Rick Miller. 2 out in the 9th inning. And here's Tom Paciorek, doubled, line to right, grounded into a double play, and Chalk threw him out on a ground ball in the 8th inning. 1 for 4 for the right-handed hitting outfielder. 5 o'clock start tomorrow, a twilight doubleheader. Glenn Abbott and Jim Colburn for the Mariners, Knapp and Frost for the Angels, 4 right-handers. Strike with a fastball. LaRoche hits the outside corner. Well, the Mariners, after the Angels had a 6-1 lead, threw a scare into the Angels, but Angels came back with 1 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th and lead 9-5. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball to third. Tough play. Jackson knocks it down. Doesn't know where the ball is. It's right behind him. And Paciorek is safe at first base. See how they rule it. An error on Jackson. Ball was hit sharply. Ball came up and Jackson could not field it cleanly. That's his second error. Both balls hit hard, but as an official score, third baseman Stein has had the same plays for Seattle and has made them both times. I want to pass along word to you. I know that some of you listening have friends or family out at Anaheim Stadium tonight. The man who was hit by Baylor's line drive is okay. Walked up the aisle under his own power and into the first aid room, and they've sent up the report that he's okay. First pitch misses to Leon Roberts. He's 2 for 4, a single and a double. Paciorek safe at first base on the air. He hit it hard. 2 out. The pitch. Low, ball 2. 2-0. Bob Robertson on deck. This despite 9 runs, it really has not been an easy game for the Angels. They've had to earn it. They've used 3 pitchers, Tanana, Miller, and LaRoche. The pitch. There's a strike. Game down the middle, 2-1. A big inning for the Mariners, trailing 7-4. They got a double and 3 straight walks with 1 out in the 8th inning to make it 7-5, and had Bernhardt and Stinson up there with a chance to tie up the game. Swing and a high pop-up. This should do it. Bobby Grich waiting for it to come down right at the edge of the grass. He's got it. The ball game is over. In the 9th inning, no runs, no hits, an error and 1 left. Dave LaRoche congratulated by Jim Fregosi. And the Angels, his 12th save of the year. Tanana wins his 12th game. So 12, the lucky number tonight. The Angels 9, the Mariners 5. The Angels will strengthen their hold on first place in the West. And we'll check the totals with Big D in just a moment.
Hey, Richard, where did that huge chicken come from?
He's a guest of mine.
But he's over 6 feet tall.
Very perceptive, Don. You're right, he's no ordinary chicken. He's the Continental Airlines Chicken Feed Chicken. Continental's introduced new low chicken feed fares.
Well, now, why is he here?
The chicken is pitching Continental's Chicken Feed Fare to Chicago. Only $99. And that includes a full meal. There's no lower fare.
Well, what did he say?
Just that you can choose from 5 non-stop DC-10s every day. Seats are limited, though.
Well, Continental's great service for just $99.
You bet. You even get 9 channels of free stereo, pop, classical.
Oh, yeah, country western, your favorite. You really understand that cluck.
Sure. Continental's of Chicago for $99. Chicken feed is all you need.
Okay, I'll go along with you there. Why is he wearing the baseball cap?
Oh, it covers his bald spot.
Oh. Totals on tonight's game. The Angels 9 runs, 12 hits, an error. They leave 1. Seattle 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. They leave 8. Frank Tanana, his 12th win of the year against 5 losses. He's the winner. Dave LaRoche, his 12th save of the year. The loss goes to Dick Pohl. He's 4-10, and we're going to talk with Dave LaRoche on Angel Report. That'll follow in a moment.
California Angels Baseball is brought to you by your nearby Chevron dealer, where you'll find quality Chevron gasolines and motor oils and quality Atlas tires, too, giving you our best. That's the Chevron way. By Anheuser-Busch, brewers of Budweiser, the king of beers. There's no better way to relax than with the easy taste of Budweiser. By Continental Airlines. Continental's chicken feed fares have ended discount fare confusion. There are no lower fares, and there are no restrictions. And by Chevrolet and your neighborhood Chevrolet dealers, who are serving up a fresh new slice of apple pie, the new size, quick size, mid-size Malibu. This broadcast authorized under radio rights granted by the Angels solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any other use prohibited. Air personnel approved by the Angels and Golden West broadcasters. Now stay tuned for important post-game coverage on Angel Report. Coming right up.
Have you ever gone to the airport to get your package on a plane?
Taxi! The airport, please.
I don't know what it is about this cab, but it just refuses to go to the airport at rush hour. Probably afraid of planes.
Taxi!
When you finally get there, you're almost sorry you did.
Could either of you gentlemen tell me where the World International counter is?
Sure, it's right over that way.
No, Charlie, it's over that way.
And when you get to where you're going, you have to be lucky to get your package to where it's going.
Hi, I'd like to get this package on your next plane to Fargo, North Dakota, please. And why are you shaking your head?
See that plane taking off?
Yeah.
That was our next plane to Fargo, North Dakota.